Hello everyone and welcome to WAFL football thanks to Hungry Jacks and Diploma Plumbing. It is the West Coast Eagles round 19 clash against East Perth, and it is a chance to keep themselves in the finals race, and the West Coast Eagles have some star-studded inclusions against the Royals, who beat them here at this very venue way back in early May when East Perth won on a Thursday night by 34 points. Tim Gossage, Steve Bandy and Dana Hooker with you in commentary. Dana will be working the boundary lines as Steve Bandy, as the umpires come out on the ground, and then there's Frankie Watson, looking forward to him. But as we take a wide shot of Leederville Oval, the conditions were fair to say. We had snow in Canberra last week. It is absolutely flooded here at Leederville Oval tonight. Good evening.
Yes, good evening, Tim, and good evening everyone that's tuning in for this evening. And oh my goodness, it's starting to look a little bit like Adventure World. There are puddles of water in every corner you see across this green grass, and I think the worst of it has passed by for the time being, and you almost look like you were getting blown off your mark walking up the steps, Tim. It was vicious winds, and it's cold here in the box. Couldn't imagine what it's like down there. Unbelievable.
Well, Dana Hooker is downstairs, and she's tough. She's an AFLW star with the West Coast Eagles, and she is going to be working the boundary lines, hopefully under a bit of cover. But it's a very big night for WAFL football because we have our first league field umpire female, and goal umpiring, making her debut, another female goal umpire. To tell us more, here's Dana Hooker, and she's with Talent Pathway of Umpiring in the WAFL and AFL umpire extraordinaire, Dean Margetts. Dana, good evening.
Thanks very much, Gosh. Yeah, we're sitting down in the dugout tonight. The weather's not too fantastic for it, but it's a fantastic milestone for two umpires out there today, Gabby Simmons and Chloe Wright. Do you want to tell us a little bit about the two ladies taking the field tonight and I guess their journey to get there?
Yeah, well, Chloe's a young 18-year-old from the Swan District's Junior Footy League. She's been with us for a couple of years now. And she's just an exceptional young lady, great character, works really hard at her craft, and she certainly deserves her appointment tonight. Gabby Simmons has been in our pathway for probably 13 years now, and this is probably the culmination of many years of hard work, having to fight back through some adversity with some injuries, but again, parking the female aspect aside, they're both bona fide league umpires with great futures ahead. They work hard, they love the game, and their characters are exemplary.
They must be thrilled. So what was their response when the selection came in front of all their other umpiring peers?
It was one of the more special moments I've been involved with, and I'm sure many of the people in the room thoroughly enjoyed it. Once we announced and put their heads up on the big screen, it was a raucous applause, and you could just see the emotion start to kick in when it meant what it would mean for them. And I think just having seen the parents in the rooms before the game, what it means to the parents and the families is huge, because they ride all the highs and all the lows with the umpire. And I think tonight's a fitting start to their careers for sure.
We've seen of recent years a few ladies taking the field on the AFL stage, the big stage, and obviously something these girls will be aspiring to as well. How has the WA Footy Commission and I guess the umpiring pathway really supported female development?
Yeah, huge. There's two AFL guys here tonight, Adam Davidson and Russell Davidson, just overseeing our program, and obviously with Gabby coming through and Chloe, we've seen Tiana Fry do some AFL debut, and obviously Eleni Gluftis in the AFL is probably the trailblazer. But if we can bit by bit start to have our little bit of investment in it from a WA point of view, I'm sure it's going to hold us in good stead moving forward.
Look, Dean, thank you so much for your time coming and having a chat with us and your insights, and good luck for tomorrow night for your game as well.
Thanks very much, Dana, and all the best to the girls tonight. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good on you, Dana, and good on you, Dean Margetts, who has the AFL fixture here in Perth tomorrow night. And, well, one thing Gabby won't have to do tonight, which is a good thing for all the umpires, is bounce the ball.
Fair point there, Goss. I can't imagine. Well, in fact, the only good bit of turf out there is the centre circle. So if you're going to bounce it, that's probably the one place you do want to get. You'll get some elevation there.
West Coast start this game in 6th spot, and a win tonight will put them above Perth on percentage and put them into the 5, which is great news. East Perth season, well, to be brutally honest, it's probably mirrored their squad and availability. I think they've battled manfully, East Perth, with their 5 wins, but West Coast have a genuine chance. Now, interesting enough, the team sheets are in, so if you're a West Coast Eagles fan and you're watching our telecast of Waffle Action on this Friday night, we're here for Hungry Jacks and Diploma Plumbing. Don't forget, for all your plumbing needs, go to diplomaplumbing.com.au. Chris Marston is in the lineup, Liam Duggan, Nathan Vardy, Francis Watson, Tom Cole, Jared Cameron is playing, Brendan Archie is playing, the truck, Matty Allen is playing, Bailey Williams on a new contract is playing, and we're looking forward to seeing Brady Gray, who is wearing the captain's jersey as well. And that young man is doing some good things, and that's Hamish Brayshaw.
Had one of his better games last week, doing in and under work, Hamish, and some of those names mentioned, Tim, it's going to be exciting to see them back in West Coast colours. Liam Duggan, just 2 weeks after sustaining what looked to be a re-aggravation of his ankle injury. It's great to see him back out there. Can you believe he injured his ankle and got corked in the same play? A bit of salt in the wounds there, but Duggo's done well to come back, and hopefully a bit of an assault late in the finals campaign for both sides. And we also see Jared Cameron take the field as well after having a week off last week also. So some serious names out there. Let's hope the weather doesn't get in the way of a very good contest.
When we were last here, as I said, in mid-May, East Perth really made life difficult for the West Coast Eagles. I don't think we had the quality of players available for that game as we're seeing here tonight.
Nor the cohesion, Tim. I mean, that's all the way back in round 6, and you look ahead, it's round 19. So that time together, you know, it does make a massive difference. You learn how they all play. You learn everyone's attributes and how they like to move the ball. Oh, gee, haven't the coaches just absolutely rugged up there on the boundary line? Big Fraser McInnes, the captain, he's also missing his 3rd game in a row, I believe. So just trying to get that quad right, Big Fraser McInnes, before the last game of the season, and hopefully plenty more for the Waffle Eagles. But that game was a very sour night, the Thursday against the Royals, Tim. And, I mean, East Perth, wouldn't they love to just sink West Coast? If they beat them twice in the calendar year, that's probably how much they're going to miss the finals by as well. 2 games, it'll mean a lot to East Perth.
It certainly will. And this oval, Leederville Oval, and this club, East Perth, and also the West Coast Eagles, meant a lot to Polly Farmer, who passed away, the legend, AFL legend of football, of course. And our condolences are with the Farmer family. Players are wearing black armbands, so too the umpires and the lineups as we speak now. We will check out the ladder shortly, but in the meantime, let's acknowledge a moment of silence, if we can, for the great Polly Farmer, who unfortunately passed away after a long battle with dementia, aged 84.
Would you please stand and join the competing teams and officials for a minute's silence to honour the Hall of Fame legend, Graham and Polly Farmer, who passed away this week. Farmer's legacy as one of the greatest players in the history of WA football, and his impact on the way the game is played today will be remembered forever. Our thoughts and sympathies are with his family, friends, and former teammates. We will now observe a minute's silence. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. May today's game be played with the same skill and competitive spirit that personified the great Polly Farmer. You may be seated. Thank you.
So there it is there, East Perth, West Coast, and of course we acknowledge West Perth and of course the great Geelong Football Club for what has been a tough time for the world of football. He would have relished these conditions, never saw him play, but he could do anything both sides. The toss of the coin, which way do they go? And I don't really think it matters too much. Kyle Anderson says, I'll go to the city end of the ground. Let's take a look at the ladder as the players get their final wants and stretch those hammies. We take a look at the Hungry Jacks ladder, and also we're here for Diploma Plumbing as well. West Coast sits 6th on the ladder, and of course there is East Perth currently in 9th. Subiaco on top, but a huge game tonight. Win this and we finish the week inside the top 5.
2 games remaining in the home and away season, and Perth and West Perth, the ones we're trying to knock out there. The Falcons have a couple of tough games on their schedule. They've got Subiaco this weekend and South Fremantle. So if they lose both of those games by considerable margin, and Perth drop just one of theirs against the Sharks and Peel down at Rushton, Of course, West Coast need to do the job and win both of their fixtures remaining as well. You'd love to see them sneak in the bottom half of the 5.
Hello to everyone who is watching us on Facebook or YouTube, courtesy of Hungry Jack's and Diploma Plumbing. Don't forget, for all your plumbing needs, and there's plenty of water here today, diplomaplumbing.com.au. And hello to Jacob Gossage, who is my nephew, who lives in Queensland, long-time servant of the Australian Air Force, and he's a mad Eagles man and gets to all the Eagles games and even gets up and down the East Coast as much as he can, and he's tuned in tonight, so good on you, Jaco, and we appreciate your support. I'm sure it is not as bad. I think they're heading for 28 degrees over the weekend.
I was going to say about 44 players wish they were at the Gold Coast right now, Tim.
Players going to the position. West Coast are going to the left of screen. So it's not going to be high scoring. It's not going to be a skillful night, but one thing's for sure, it will be entertaining. Hey, we might see if we can go down to Dana Hooker. Dana, just at ground level, I know we can see it from up here, lots of puddles on the ground, very squelchy underfoot, I am sure. What's the mood like at ground level for both these teams? Dana is keeping dry, and that's a smart move. We won't go to Dana, so she might have been there. But anyway, we're going to get underway. First quarter action. Hope you're enjoying it already. We are in pretty wet conditions. And the debutante, Gabby Simmons, will throw the ball up in her first AFL waffle game as a senior umpire. Good on you, Gabby. Let's hope it's a good night for you. And here it is, first quarter action, thanks to Hungry Jack's and Diploma Plumbing.
What a moment it is for young Gabby in her debut, kicking off the opening fixture of round 19 here at Leederville Oval. It's West Coast against East Perth in a must-win game for the visitors. And Archie gets a perfect breakaway start for West Coast, putting it into the flank. Cameron's first to it. Have a look at some of the water coming up there. Doesn't faze Vardy. Brady Gray goes to ground. Quick kick forward there from Scott, searching for the boundary line and finds it. There's going to be some serious washing to be done at West Coast Lath Lane headquarters at the completion of this one, Tim.
I did actually have a question for my wife. Bronwyn said, who actually washes their shorts? The white shorts in particular.
I'm too busy sniffing them, not washing them, unfortunately.
It's just neat because they're very white.
Archie, quick snap kick forward. It'll pierce the 50 over the head of Cahill. Foot races on. Gray off the deck. Could he get West Coast off to the perfect start? But it's pushed wide to the right. That would have been a miraculous Diploma Plumbing goal today. Early doors there from Brady Gray.
And a good first score too, and a very good piece of goal umpiring from, and again, another one of our debutantes here in Chloe Wright. Good on you, Chloe. Got across nicely to signal the point and wave the flags in a league fixture for the very first time. And the first time, of course, we've had a female field umpire and a female goal umpire in a waffle game in the history of our game. So a synonymous moment here tonight. East Perth yet to score. West Coast have got 1 point.
The kick out from fullback goes over the boundary line. On the far side, long way away from here in the box, Tim. We're going to do our best through the weather and glass to see some of the action. Throw in, Williams v. Arjang. Matty Allen first to it, shrugs the tackle, just squirts the kick forward. Through Reed's hands, he misses the soccer. Have a look at some of the water coming up there. Very hard to get a possession early doors. East Perth just grubbers it forward. Duggan in the end, barrels it to full forward. Over the back, East Perth have the numbers. It's Gorda relieving handball to Bleed. He puts a little worm burner forward, and East Perth content to just gain a little bit of territory before they take it out. In fact, is it out in the full? I think it is. West Coast a chance.
Very good weather for players like Matty Allen and others, and in particular Brady Gray.
To the dangerous area, one flyer was Wilcox for East Perth, went through his hands. I think you'll see plenty of that this evening, and it'll be a ball up 20 metres out, directly in front of West Coast goal.
Liam Duggan with an early possession as well, of course.
Brooksby front position against Ajang. Oh, read it perfectly there. But the soccer kick off the deck from Brady Gray slams into the behind post, and we'll reset again for another stoppage.
Yeah, AFL team flew out for Melbourne today. Of course, Josh Rotham went across as the emergency, so no change to that team to take on Richmond, who left out Sydney Stack.
Brooksby again, hands to it. Anderson, the skipper for East Perth, sends it wide. The handball in board's a bit untidy, well collected. Brayshaw's kick forward. Didn't do his teammates any favour. Scott sends a high ball to the wing. And a fist out of play. West Coast playing it safe on that occasion from Edwards. See another throw in.
Saw some ball dunking during the week at West Coast Eagles.
I'm sorry, some what?
Some ball dunking. Of course, they're expecting some wet weather over in Melbourne. So these players, these West Coast Eagles players, would be a bit attuned to this type of weather. Not as bad, but a wet ball.
Williams, the double hand tap down. This is Brayshaw, one way then the other. Hurries to kick into the 50, gaining territory. Wins on this occasion. Brooksby and Anderson go at it a little bit there.
He's a survivor, Keegan Brooksby. See what I did there?
Well played. Just one behind to the Royals yet to get off the mark.
That could be the old score, the only score we get tonight, to be brutally honest.
Throw in, it's going to go long. Brooksby searches corridor. Anderson overruns it. Handball in board. McKenzie can't get to it first. This is Gray. Been busy early inside forward 50. Cameron takes a player without the footy. Umpire signals play on. Frantic ball inside 50. East Perth clear for a moment, but a good contested grab there from Keegan Brooksby, and he'll have the first set shot of the night.
Well, he's going to need every bit of 45 metres, and albeit the ball is only 4 minutes of use, it will be already wet because it's been on the deck for almost all of those 4 minutes. Good tackle by Jared Cameron. That'll be pleasing the West Coast Eagles coaching staff. His inside 50 work. Of course, lost his spot after 7 games in the AFL. That's exactly what he's in the team for, forward 50 pressure.
He's played all 16 games for the West Coast Eagle Waffle side in 2019. His kick towards goal is well off target on this occasion, yet to trouble the scorer.
The ball has been played on that far side of the ground here at Leederville Oval from the outset. So, look, it's frustrating, and that wind is actually going that way, so it's going right across the ground. You can't really see it on the windsock because the windsock is so heavy and so wet. But as you can see here, if you take the wide shot, every player is on that far side of the ground. Have a look at that.
Blee goes for distance. Terrific grab there off the mark. Bailey Williams, his kick skews off the side of the boot. East Perth clearing kick. A Zhang, a long way to bend down for the big fella, but spirals a kick to the wing. Fisher going back with a fly, takes one uncontested for West Coast.
Yeah, skipper last week.
He's going to kick a little bit wide, but still inside the 50. Brooksby flies, can't get a handle on it. Look at Zhang's pace coming out the back line there. His kick had no other intention but to send it over. Does the umpire have some sympathy?
No. Played deliberate.
Absolutely zero. Zhang, can you believe, played his first game of AFL footy at 16 years of age.
Yeah, he's a player that's certainly still on the radar of some AFL clubs.
Kick to the 50, no mark taken. Allen swings around the corner, high ball to the pocket. Brooksby almost takes a ripper. Gee, has Anderson ridden into the back of Paddy Bynes on that occasion? Paddy Bynes in just his 3rd league game of footy, and the rain continuing to sprinkle down.
The fact is, it doesn't drain. It just sits on the surface, and so it's there for the long haul.
One of many stoppages. Oh, terrific tap there from Brooksby, straight to Reed, but the left foot has hooked it too far. And another behind for West Coast.
Well, they are peppering. I think they're suited by the breeze and the rain for what it's worth, but East Perth are having all sorts of bother with the heavy ball getting out of their back half, and this man's got the job of doing that, Nathan Blee.
Kicks for distance. Goes to outside 50, Mutimer. Taken from Dobson. Dispossessed. Curnow applies a good tackle. Not rewarded. Dobson, little back feed, looking for Ramsey. Just a host of players around this one. Dobson just goes off the deck in the end. Here's East Perth's best chance of the day thus far. They've got numbers. Little handball for McKenzie. He's got space. Not too much to go to. Has to split the middle. Can't. Drew Petrie has to stop prop in the wet. Pressure. Simpson overruns it. A chance. Good tackle applied there, restricting West Coast for a quick ball movement. All of a sudden, Gorder on his own. Terrific tackle. Saved a certain shot on goal. Ramsey comes across the contest. Tries to feed Kerr. Heard the voice. Marston. I think everyone thought it had gone out besides Chris. And Archie will run out. Running check side kick to the wing. Someone's hit the deck. I think that was big Paddy Bynes. He's back onto it. Good little back feed. Brooksby just gets it moving forward. The race is on this occasion. East Perth are going to tap it toward the line. Cahill quite content, and Cameron makes sure he escorts him over.
Yeah, I think it might have been Ainsworth down the other end of the ground as the rain again picks up a bit of momentum. Good transfers to play by the Eagles. I will say this in the umpire's defence tonight. boundary umpires included, it's going to be a long night for them. What they deem as deliberate, what they deem as crude tackle, it's really tough, not just on the players, but the coaches, the umpires as well.
Good night for a debut then, Tim, you're saying. Zhang from behind, umpire spotted something he didn't like, but hanging on, he says, against Zhang. No, it's going to be in the midfield contest, surely, because this is Archie taking the kick. Going to set it up high. Bit of hit and hope in the dangerous area. The fly from Williams can't bring it in. At ground level, Reid is there. Applies a good tackle to Scott. He's not going anywhere. In fact, a couple of Eagles are going to come off the ground here for an interchange. The ball's been locked up over that side. I dare say a bit of frostbite down the boundary. Yeah, I think that's a very key part of this. Plenty of rotations, but a couple of bigs, or Vardy and Brayshaw checking back in. Throw up, top of the goal square. Marston looking for that trusty snap at the top of the square. Just no room to operate. The umpire will reset yet again. West Coast desperate for the first. They've owned the play inside their forward half in the early going. Slippery footy at this stage. Mutimer, back feed to Williams. He's claimed. Here's the voice. Just misses Brayshaw. East Perth go off the deck. Dobson takes it, but it's a 2-metre kick. He has to slam it toward the wing. Races on. Well handled there from Wellingham. The kick looked like my tee shot on the opening hole of 18. Tommy Cole said, not much I can do. Please don't ping me. The umpire said that's okay. He'd much rather be on the ground than off it, I reckon, as Liam Duggan about to check back into the team. Onto the ground, so to Xavier O'Neill. Vardy, uncontested. Can't follow up the tackle, so Scott just barrels it forward on the snap kick. In the end, Dobson and Allen content to see the ball trickle over. Dobson did a job on West Coast here last time. Remember that night? He would have, I think he had 3 or 4 goals himself. He was the difference between the two teams. He did have 3 and 17 touches, if you don't mind. Very strong. Well and truly the difference maker in their 34-point victory. Kicks forward. Loose footy up for grabs if someone can bend down and pick it up. Bynes attempts it. A few Eagles leaving it behind on that occasion. Allen claimed immediately. Ramsey, one of the tacklers, as to his ex-Eagle Tommy Scorter. And we'll see another ball up. I do think even in these conditions, once you pick the ball up off the ground and then are tackled, you've had a chance to pick it up. You've got a chance to dispose of it. Very lucky to get away with that, West Coast. Tommy Cole, the old Luke Kane kick off the deck. Almost worked. Nice. Brayshaw stepped inside beautifully. Kicks it forward. No one between the ball and the goals. Good foot race here. Blee. Bynes needs to corral him, put some pressure on. Blee knew what he was doing from the get-go, and Bynes will not win that appeal. He's got the Shannon Hearn appeal. And there's Liam Duggan. She's important for West Coast in through the next couple of weeks in the finals as well. Blee's going to be absolutely stuffed by the end of the night trying to get this ball out of defensive 50. He barely kicks that ball 30 metres at the moment. They are working hard, the East Perth defence. Here's a chance for West Coast. O'Neill has got some time off the left foot. Puts it to Bynes. He was manhandled in that contest. Umpire saw every bit of it. And Paddy Bynes, a chance to line up for his first goal in league footy. Tell us a bit about Paddy Bynes. Well, he's obviously a Category B rookie for the West Coast Eagles, so can ball with the basketball. Great young fella, living with Jared Brander and Jack Petrocelli, so learning plenty on and off the field, the big fella. But in just his 3rd league game, certainly thrust into the hot seat. And this could be some good reward for effort as far as West Coast are concerned. Bynes from the top of the square. No. Haven't I just jinxed him up the wazoo? He's lucky to make connection in the end there, Tim. No, I shouldn't laugh. It's a heavy ball. He's inexperienced, but really. Costly mistake there from West Coast, but let's hope they get plenty more throughout the evening. He'll be fine for that, surely. He's not immune from fines, is he? Will Schofield runs in it. I'd be shocked if he didn't ping him on that occasion. He'll be watching over there in Melbourne, Will. Ajang goes off his hands. Try and pick that one up, they say. Allen does. Another snap round the corner will pierce the 50. Wilcox goes off the deck, says, get that out of here. Big Drew Petrie collects. Oh, gee, was that a little faint dummy from the big fella? Oh, and the kick just put down at the last minute by Gray. Able to get rid of it. Kalawa, what a fend off there from Vardy. Puts his opponent on the deck. Matty Allen dispossessed. And Blee, yet another clearing kick for the Royals. Healy can't get a hold of it. Bit of pinball style footy as you'd expect. Nick Reid, gee, that's clean. Off the non-preferred foot. Can he get the bounce? He can't. Little skinny there from Reid. And 5 behinds for West Coast with East Perth yet to get off the mark.
And with that type of night, no need to panic for either side. East Perth have looked good when they went forward inside 50, apart from I can just basically say Nathan Blees officially had 6 kicks in this game, and they're all basically step outside the square kick-ins.
Archie getting some much-needed rest.
He's had 6 disposals, Archie. Brady Gray's had 5, 3 to Truck Allen, Hamish Brayshaw, Nick Reid and Nathan Vardy's had 3.
Vardy attempted to go from mid-air, didn't get great connection. Brayshaw sends to full forward, binds at ground level. Oh, here's a chance. Reid, can he go off the deck? He does, off his right foot. He's kicked the first for West Coast. Bit of something from nothing there from Nick Reid. Yeah, great goal, Nick Reid. There's a lot to like about him. The North Beach ammo, of course, it was at the Claremont Colts as well. Settled down off the field and on the field, and he really has been an outstanding attribute to the West Coast Eagles. So a top-up player who, no disrespect to a lot of them, he's probably in the first 5 or 6 picked on sheer form alone. Very good goal this, to go with his 3 tackles. Well done, Nick Reid. There's not going to be a lot of goals kicked. Thought about it, didn't hick it too far, skidded the ball through, and that is Chloe Wright, the goal umpire's first signal of a major in her waffle debut as well. So well done to Chloe, well done to Nick Reid, and that's a very handy buffer. But I can tell you the rain, as you can see on the screen now, that rain is going in that direction because that wind is howling in that way. So East Perth are going to get a taste of it in the second quarter, albeit a low-scoring game, but still plenty of opportunities for the Royals to get back in this contest. Quality finish there from Nick Reid. Vardy, good tap. Off the deck goes Mutimer. Rebillard just keeps the ball in front of him. Great team tackle there from West Coast. They're able to pin the ball just outside forward 50. Now Nick Reid, the second leading goalkeeper of the team, Tim, but what's most impressive, averaging 15 touches as well. So getting the ball high and can also drift back and make you pay in front of goals. Vardy and Ajang do battle. Mutimer's got a tiny bit of space. Amajuri shutting that down quite quickly. Right, snap kick forward. Gee, I think who was taken, Cole was taken without it on that occasion. Umpire saw every bit of it. I thought Tommy Cole was close to best on ground last week against Perth Demons, Tim. That's all he's got to do is continue to find the footy, do what he needs to do. Tough to get back into that top team. But, you know, he's right in the mix. He's a premiership player, so he knows what it takes to be there. So he's just got to be in the right place at the right time with the finals a couple of weeks away. Wilcox takes the chest mark, goes long to the wing. Good fist forward there from Tommy Cole. Nice. Amajuri collects, back feed. Wright just kicks a long penetrating ball to the wing. Cole taken out of it by ex-teammate Sharad Wellingham there. Good to see Sharad continuing to play. Not for much longer. Last one, you think? A fair career to hang your hat on. 171 AFL games, including 79 for the West Coast Eagles. The 2010 premiership, of course, for Collingwood. And what a game he had in that replay grand final as well, Tim. Absolutely. Now, we've had a secondary boundary throw-in because of the conditions that slipped out of that boundary umpire's arms. And good luck, that's a much better throw-in. Well done. Going through, Xavier O'Neill taken without it. Umpire signals play on, not enough in it. Quite content to let play continue at this point in time. King dispossessed immediately. West Coast tackling a bit fierce in the early going. It's got to be in these conditions. In fact, they deem taken without it. King's kick forward, not enough on it. Vardy reads it best. He looks in the game too, Vardy, and he looks up and about, so he should be quality player. And the ruckmen are going to play a massive role in this contest today, Tim. They'll be around plenty of stoppages. Brady Gray, what great forward half pressure there. Forcing the boundary throw in. He's been punished for driving him into the ground. He probably needed to turn him a little bit. It was a pretty strong tackle. Thanks to Hungry Jacks and Diploma Plumbing. For all your plumbing needs, go to diplomaplumbing.com.au. And Hungry Jacks, great supporters of the West Coast Eagles and footy in this town for a long, long time. You see Jack Cowens at the game last week? Yes, I had the first time I got to meet Jack in my 11 years at the club. And did you buy a burger? Well, he wasn't watching, so no. We Fisher to take the kick. Good burgers at the Mineral Resources Park, let me tell you. Some of the best. Cahill drops the uncontested mark. It's going to be difficult in these conditions. He's happy to be tackled and hold it up inside. West Coast forward 50. An 11-0 lead. I think it's just the one inside 50 as far as East Perth are concerned. They've been starved of opportunity in the early going. West Coast certainly winning the territory battle early on. That kick wasn't 15. Bounced off Brooksby's chest. Mutimer.
Nice.
Good work. Shares with Duggan. O'Neill just has to toe poke off the deck. Marston's socket ineffective, and in the end, clearing kick for East Perth. It's all Fisher.
Whoa.
Back feed, Tommy Cole, not much to do with it. Good spoil there, or smother from Dobson. Fisher applying some pressure. Dobson just shakes him off the mark pretty easily in the end. Look at the size of the big fella. Does well. Kick forward from Miller. Searching for Houghton. The ball sits for him. What are his options? He says goals only. In the end, no cavalry as far as East Perth are concerned. Cameron, little toe poke looking for the boundary. Has Watson in support if he wants him. Little tapple on the ground. Put it a bit out of reach, and in the end, just helped over by Wilcox. And East Perth the first stoppage, and they're forward at 50.
Yeah, would love to have seen Frankie Watson get a little closer to Cameron then. I think he was tagging, sort of letting him know he was there, but in these conditions, 15 metres behind him, too far for Cameron to get the ball back. They've made hard work of it, West Coast, in that situation.
Good tackle there from West Coast. From Mutimer making sure. I think it was Ramsey not going anywhere. Such a prolific ball winner for East Perth is Ramsey. Good hit out there from Houghton. Searching for Miller. Couldn't find him though. Marston claimed. Just gets rid of it. Houghton off the deck, somehow lands back in his lap. Ramsey, kick forward. Cole back with the flight, didn't know what was coming. Gutsy stuff. Petrie there. Dobson just sumo wrestling everyone in his path at the moment. Cameron, the left foot spiral. It's read by McKenzie, and he's claimed the mark.
Yeah, it was an off the side boot, kick by Duggan on that occasion, but I've liked Liam Duggan just starting to get involved in the game now.
McKenzie puts it in a dangerous area. It's a low ball. West Coast preventing that grab, and O'Neill butters up. Marston just bangs it as far as he can. Archie gets hands to it, but East Perth have plenty of numbers around this ball. Bit of composure from Rudrum. Has Dobson. Strong mark. Not much Fisher could do on that occasion.
Stan Wright, really nice player. Some people believe he could find himself onto a list if he stays fit and disciplined.
Long ball there from Dobson. Petrie had no idea what was behind him and displayed the percentages. Sends it out of bounds. We see Anthony Jones, the sports science operator, looks like he's heading to Alaska after this game. One of the thickest jackets you can possibly imagine. He's got one of the best seats in the house for this contest. Ball inside East Perth, attacking 50. Vardy trying to do it at ground level. Very little room to operate for both sides, as we've played 21 minutes here in the opening term. East Perth still yet to get out of the gate. West Coast 1 goal, 5-11. Marston can't get his hands on it. Curnow puts his head over the footy, retrieves. Ainsworth, quick little kick to centre half back for West Coast. Mutimer, tough one to handle. The Eagles go off the deck. Ball's on the wing. They just want to lock this one up. That'll be a good territory win, and they can on this occasion. Well done, West Coast.
East Perth have got a player out the back. If I was West Coast, I'd be just putting someone in the forward 50 because I've just a feeling they can hack it forward. West Coast's got nobody there at the moment. Every play you see on the screen there is around the footy. In these conditions, once spews out the back, West Coast could get a cheap one.
Through hands, Marston, here's the voice on the outside. A chance for West Coast to penetrate on the far wing. Curnow gives to Brayshaw, evades the tackle well, but runs out of real estate. It'll be a throw-in on the outer side.
Bit of overuse of the footy at the moment. I've really liked Marston's last 5 or 6 minutes, and so too of Liam Duggan. Marston's stats don't really show a lot for it. He's had 4 disposals, but I do think his work rate around the footy, putting his head over it, is a good sign for West Coast at this level and the AFL level.
Now it's Kurt Mutimer, the leading disposal winner for West Coast, with 7 at this point, and the kick forward from East Perth doesn't get past the big Petrie dish.
Saw him at the office today. He said, well, life of a waffle footballer, 9 to 5 work and then get to the game tonight. It's a long day.
I'm surprised he wasn't rolling out the markers and painting the field. You know, there's not much he's not doing at the moment. Drew Petrie around the club and the league.
I had a really good chat with him today. Loves it. And he said his wife keeps telling him, every time he comes out of a meeting, she says, we want to buy this house, love. We want to buy this house. Here for the long haul, quote unquote, don't see myself going back to Victoria anytime soon. Loves it in Western Australia, which is great news. And a great worker around the footy club, and great to have a man of his experience.
That news should excite every West Coast fan out there. Simpson just hoiks the kick as far as he can. Amaduri ducks well, but Rebelliard, quality pressure, and the umpire's going to reward it.
You've got to get it on quick. You can't hang on to the footy. It doesn't matter what happens in these conditions. These people are hanging in there. I know they haven't scored, but don't want to harp on it. That wind is certainly going right into their face. It is tough going when you go into the city end. It's tough going in the best of times in this weather, in this water, and with these balls. But West Coast certainly suited by the breeze.
Rebelliard drives it long. Brooksby finds himself out the back. Geez, rare does a ruckman see himself with that much space, but the boundary line wins out. We see Matty Allen, the 2018 joint best and fairest winner for East Perth last year. It was a three-way tie last year with Luke Partington and Pat McGinnity, who's not taking the field today for East Perth through injury. Williams takes it uncontested, snaps it forward, bouncing ball, just lets it go. Brilliant roving work there from West Coast. Oh, Nick Reid ran out of options in the end. He's tried to go around. Is it Rebelliard, in fact? Hard to see with this rain from up here. Tried to duck back inside. Didn't love the check side option. And what a tackle there from the skipper, Anderson.
Yeah, good stuff. Well run. He's been around the game for a long, long time, but he's given away a free kick for a high tackle.
Gee, that's costly there for East Perth.
That was tough too. Cool.
The check side kick's going to go with option A, but sprays it, goes across the face. Doesn't trouble the scorers.
Had two cracks at it, hasn't scored once. And lost his head in the process.
I thought that would have been a stiff goal against East Perth. I thought Anderson did the best he could. I thought he ducked the tackle a little bit, but nevertheless, it'll be East Perth to clear. And finally, the ball on the broadcast side, Tim. Ajang bounces off his chest. Loose footy inside forward 50. Brayshaw goes off the deck. Gains about 5 metres, and we'll have another throw in. I thought you were getting the Ashes up there for a minute, Tim, on your phone.
I've just got a lot of people saying they're struggling to see the score because of the live numbers of views being done on it. So we'll keep giving you the score. If you turn your phone on the side, it'll squeeze out the side. It's 11-0 West Coast after 26 minutes.
Look at you, a bit of tech advice. Brooksby goes inboard the corridor, but only as far as Gorda. His kick just outside 50. Dobson scrapping hard, as to his Kerno. Cole around the mark, as to his Archie lurking. The umpire's found a free kick, and it's going the way of the Royals.
Craig Glancy, ex-East Perth, Wembley coach in the Ammos. He's a fisherman up north now, I think. He lives way up north. He's watching. Good on you. Glance, you're a good man. Wembley needs you, mate. They look like they're heading for the B grade, unfortunately.
Ramsey, good dummy, sends it long to the wing. Cole front position, can't bring it in. Ball in dispute. Ajang is there for East Perth. As to his Allen, just tries to bullock his way through. He does almost successfully, but Ajang dispossesses him at the last minute, and the umpire said you had enough time there, Matty Allen. Good tackle there for Ajang. Probably the greatest name going around the waffle at this point in time, Tim. He opts for the long ball. Cole's all by himself.
I think Kieran Hudson is, mate.
If you're a bit lonely, I guess. Tom Cole takes it easily. 42 games in 4 seasons for West Coast Eagles. Cole goes wide, but kick is ill-directed. It's all Gorda. Sees something he likes. The first corridor switch kick of the day. Finds right. All of a sudden, East Perth have a sniff here. Scott, a bit indecisive, sends a floater. It's well read from East Perth. A long kick, dangerous area, but Drew Petrie backing back with no opponent. Takes the easy chest mark. They squandered that opportunity, the Royals. Petrie goes long, just on the tick of the quarter-time siren, Tim Gossage.
Yes, and East Perth have been kept scoreless in this fixture, but it is a lot to do with the weather-related, no doubt about that. I can tell you, Kurt Mutimer leads the stats for the West Coast Eagles, and the West Coast Eagles lead on the scoreboard 1-5-11. Nick Reid's soccer goal, and East Perth are yet to score. Archie, 6 disposals. Brady Gray's had 6, 4 to Hamish Brayshaw and Kerno and Liam Duggan. returning. Chris Marston's had 4, and as I mentioned, Nick Reed's had 4 and 3 tackles as well. For the East Perth Football Club, Jackson Ramsey's had 10, the former Pie. Nathan Bleed's had 7 disposals, so too Stanley Wrights for the midfield. He's been good. And Gorta, the former Eagle 5, and Joel Houghton, the former Docker, has also had 5. We'll take a break, come back, West Coast in front by 11 points on a wet old Friday night, thanks to Hungry Jacks and Diploma Plumbing. Welcome back to Leederville Oval, and it is a wet old quarter-time break. It's the West Coast Eagles 1-5-11. East Perth yet to score in these horrendous conditions. And in a moment, we'll be going down to Dana Hooker. She will having a chat with Luke Webster from the West Coast Eagles, the coaching staff. We'll see Gavin Bell doing a lot of the talking in that huddle. But Luke Webster is making his way over to Dana Hooker. Almost lost his skids right now, and here he comes now. Dana, you've got Luke Webster down there. What was the general message at quarter time?
We do. Thanks very much, Webby, for racing down here. Lucky you're in the dugout just for a minute. Horrendous conditions, but you must be pleased with the start from the boys.
Yeah, look, the guys brought really good, strong intent right from the first centre bounce. It was pleasing to see. Definitely tough conditions, but it's going to be the side that really wants to crack in the most that's going to get the job done tonight.
Most definitely. What are you looking for specifically in this second quarter from the boys?
Yeah, look, we want to get off to another good start. Like we did that quarter, we want to get some good field position and then lock the game in our front half, and hopefully that'll create some more scoring opportunities for us again.
Look, thanks, Webby, for your time. I'll let you get back up to the coach's box, and good luck for the rest of the game.
No worries, thank you.
Thanks.
Good on you, Dana, and Luke Webster. And yes, he ran across and went through the interchange area and came very close for the floor chimes giving way. He didn't have a lot of traction there. Spare a thought for these umpires on a very cold and wet old night, tossing the ball up. East Perth suited by the breeze. They trail by 11 points thanks to Hungry Jacks and Diploma Plumbing.
Continue round 19 of the second term. The rain still coming down here at Leederville Oval. Not letting up for the time being. Right, the opening clearance of the term to centre half forward. No mark taken. Hilly spills it with not much pressure around him. Ainsworth goes through Mutimer's hands. FIFA style off the deck, but it's all East Perth with the numbers. Will it stay for Gorda? It does. Reid applies the pressure. Little handball on the back door to no one in particular.
Never.
Good stuff there from Nick Reid, keeping it alive. East Perth repelled. Kerr can't get a handle on it. Marston attempts to tap off the ground. Bit of pinball there for both sides. The Royals put it inside 50. Good top contest from Simpson. Cole searching for the boundary line. Watson keeps it in on this occasion. Archie, snap round the corner. Williams, right place, right time. Good work there from the ruckman. Re-signing this week. Exciting times for the youth of the West Coast Eagles. He goes long at Jang. Can't take it. Going to be hard marking them at this point. Semelko for East Perth. Grubber kick forward. West Coast a chance on the outer side. Applying pressure on this occasion. It's Rebillard and Nick Reid, right? Not much you could do on that occasion. We'll have a ball up. O'Neill needs a snorkel, I think, to continue that, Rob.
It's not one of the pleasant things to be doing, lying in that rain on mud.
Right, a couple of clearance early doors for the Royals. Goes to centre half forward. Ball out the back. Watson needs to keep his composure. Houghton overruns it for East Perth, but West Coast with the numbers. They win out. Clearing kick. East Perth, couple appealing to the boundary line, and it's going to be a throw-in. They win on this occasion.
Not too sure. It must purely be the way the wind and rain is going, because the play has been at that pocket, from that wing to that pocket, for basically 95% of the game.
Good work there, Williams. Solo clearance. Sends it to the wing. West Coast go off the deck. No one between the ball and goals on this occasion. Inside 50. Rudrum, the first to it, sends a pitching wedge to the outer side, and Tom Gorda's found about 20 yards of space. He takes an easy mark.
It's a kick and hope, but it ended up being a very good kick. He got back nicely then, so well done to Rudrum.
The past Eagles rookie, taken in 2017. Lovely ball inside the corridor. Hilly, switch, Dobson and Wright could have raffled it. Dobson falls over, very slippery on the inside. Rudrum knows all about it. Goes back in, dangerous, high ball. Just always meant for Muter on that occasion.
East Perth had 4, that's a chain of 4. I reckon that we haven't had a chain of 2 before that. There was 4 clear possessions. Good kicks, strong marks, but they've made hard work of it, and I think it came about when the big fella slipped over in the middle of the ground, Dobson, because he wanted to get up and go, so unfortunately lost his footing. As you mentioned, the corridor, incredibly slippery.
A Jang front position on this occasion, but Williams the first to it. He's claimed, ball spills out. Allen bangs it forward into the pocket, but over the head of Brooksby, and Ian Anderson happy to see it over.
Thanks to everyone who's making comments as to where they're watching the game tonight. Of course, the AFL game is a one-sided affair already. Sydney doing a job on Melbourne. Australia's not doing all that flash in the cricket, and Australia was losing the basketball down the road at RAC the arena, so we've got the close one.
Marston attempts the 50-metre snap. He's given it a good roast to the top of the square. Almost taken there from Brooksby. Hanging on, the umpire says. And it's going to be a shot on goal from near point-blank range, but slight angle.
Is that Vardy?
Oh, I can't see a thing from here, Tim.
It might be Vardy.
It is indeed.
A big rig.
A chance after kicking 3 last week. Liam Duggan coming off for some much-needed rest, and West Coast Eagles have put it through. Easy pickings there for Nathan Vardy. He gets the club's second goal of the evening.
Yeah, well, you talk about this weather and you say, oh, it's not a great night for big men. But in that situation, Brooksby and Vardy and Williams, they've been hard to move. They've been really hard to move. So Yeah, we were waiting on this, so he just got around and kicked around the corner. I just don't see any value in kicking around the corner, to be honest, especially when you're that close to goal, but unless you're Paddy Bynes, of course. It was a good goal. Well, he kicked around the corner. Bynesy?
Not purposely, though, Tim.
Do you reckon he'll be fine for that? Got to be fine.
Every chance.
If you just tuned in, Bynesy had a shot for goal for his first goal in waffle football from, how far out was he?
Top of the square. Top of the square.
12 metres. And didn't make the distance, and it went through the points.
Well, Nathan Vardy not making the same mistake on that occasion.
No, can't laugh too.
Coming off a good game last week, 10 touches and 4 grabs, 3 goals for the big man.
Jenny Willis says she loves Vards with a kiss on the Facebook.
That's excessive. Dobson goes to ground.
Gets a kiss for it.
Fisher over the top. West Coast do have numbers, but East Perth on the sweeping side did have a couple of numbers out, but they couldn't get it to him in time, and West Coast do well to lock it inside their defensive 50.
Australia, people are asking us, what's the score? We're too engrossed in this game of football.
Don't ask.
Australia 5 for 76.
Another wicket's down, troublesome times, as to for East Perth, who are yet to get off the mark. 17 points to nada at this stage. Rebillard, ball pings out of his hands. Allen on the non-preferred, sends it to the wing. Gee, what a quality chest mark that was from Brooksby on this occasion. Giddy on up.
Sure.
Goes to centre half forward. Good spoil there from Wilcox, but all West Coast at ground level. Here's a chance. Ball sits for Mutimer. Does a little 360 spin on himself. Gives to Reed. Hooks it back inside, but Rudrum is the only man there. Takes the intercept mark.
Yeah, the right idea. Didn't quite strike it that well, but he was running out of real estate. He was going to go over the fence if he wasn't careful. So West Coast have got their backs up, their tails up at the moment.
Rudrum clearing kick outside 50. Hilly there. Good collect, and Scott grubbers it on the ground. Good evasive skills there from East Perth. They continue to move the ball down the line. What a tackle there from Big Drew Petrie. Dispossesses his opponent. West Coast drive it inside 50. One-on-one contest. It's Brady Gray. Gorda wins out on this occasion, and all East Perth can do is repel yet again. 2v1 in favour of the Royals. Blee has it, uncontested. Snaps a kick forward. Simpson has to get rid of it immediately. He does. West Coast need to apply some good pressure here. Tom Cole, little back tap, heard the voice. In the end, Curnow couldn't take full advantage, and I think all players will be happy for a stoppage. No, they let it play on this occasion. Can you believe? It's going to favour the Royals. Little soccer off the ground only goes as far as Big Drew Petrie, lumbering through the middle of the ground. Graceful to watch his kick. Well directed though, and Anderson takes the mark. Seen that a couple of times from the elder statesman.
Yeah, he just loves this is bread and butter stuff. This is his home weather.
Anderson, the long ball to the wing. Williams first hands to it. Simpson somehow thinks he's claimed it, but wouldn't have thought so there. High tackle, the Royals are saying, but no.
Has it stopped raining? It's just me.
I think so.
Has Dana Hooker got a microphone down there? Dana, if you're listening to us, I'd love you to tell us whether it's still raining.
It absolutely is still raining. It's definitely lightened off.
You're wearing a beanie. Where'd you get the beanie from?
From the team store today. I invested heavily in tonight.
You bought it?
I did.
Not part of the,
it seemed necessary.
AFLW quota?
No, I did quickly ask if it was all right to wear the beanie tonight. I did get clearance.
I got asked about whether you could wear a beanie.
Well, I wasn't sure if it was professional enough, but it's definitely necessary. This isn't one of the more pleasant games I've attended.
Oh,
Curnow.
Good on you.
Put Fisher under the pump on that occasion. Ball spills out. He applies the tackle there. He and Matty Allen make sure that Big Houghton, Joel Houghton's going nowhere.
See, Daisy Pearce last week in Monaco got asked that but the producer said, Daisy, it's snowing and so cold. You may more than welcome come upstairs and don't do the boundary line from downstairs.
How do you think Dipper would react to some of those?
Well, I'm about to tell Dana, you're not getting the same offer. You're not getting the same offer. You're staying down there for the long haul. You're a beanie. That's a dead giveaway.
And there's room up here too, Tim. So that's
she's tough.
Tougher than us anyway, Tim, that's for sure. Bailey Williams happy to see the ball out of play. Oh, in fact, it's going to be a free kick going the way. Brady Gray says, I'll take it. The umpire says, no, you're not champion. It'll go back to Big Bailey Williams.
He's got involved tonight. It's been good.
Long ball, hot spot. Top of the square. Jane flies, so does Allen. Big ball to be won here. Fierce defence provided from the Royals, and they're able to hold the Eagles up on this occasion. Brady Gray not going anywhere.
It's tough stuff from both teams. This is really, there's nowhere to hide here. When the ball is on the deck, stick your head over it and see how you go.
Ball up, Jane wins out, back tap, Scott retreating, handball straight to Chris Marston's hand, but the ball spills out. Paddy Bynes goes for take two, can't handle it on this occasion, and Mackenzie sees it over the goal line, and that is yet another behind for the West Coast Eagles.
2-6 to nothing. East Perth haven't scored in about 40 minutes of football so far.
1-1 to 0 just for the quarter at this stage. West Coast in favour. Yet another inside 50 entry for the away side. Grubber kick forward. Here's a chance. Bailey Williams could have gone the little pass, but he's kicked it himself. What a soccer goal. 2 out of the 3 goals this evening. FIFA 2019. Eat your heart out.
Yeah, I just mentioned just a moment ago, I felt that he was having a bit of an impact in this game, that big fella. He's worked extremely hard in his ruck craft. As we mentioned, he's re-signed a new contract. He's got a new do, and he's doing some good things tonight. And they don't get any smaller, even though the ball's on the ground. Smart thinking. As we take a look here, there's the hack forward. Dangerous territory, ran his man underneath the ball. When you run Anderson under the ball, you're doing well, because he's a fantastic servant of the waffle, but that is a wonderful goal. Of course, there's a bit of luck, but gee, 4-goal lead in this, and they've added, what have they added? They've added 2 goals in this quarter, 2 goals, 3 to no score in 10 minutes against the Breeze. So well done to the West Coast Eagles. They're up and about, and they're being led by a lot of their senior players. In Marston's been good, Petrie's also been very good as well.
That's well and truly your leader for the Diploma Plumbing goal of the day thus far.
Yes, Stephen.
I thought Paddy Bynes was just going to toe poke one through, but in the end, he was happy to see the big fella slot one from a little difficult angle there. East Perth winning the clearances from the centre bounce in this quarter. Ball bounces off the chest of Kerr. You see some of the water come up. It's not training too well here at the moment. O'Neill wants the switch to Watson. He's ducking back inside, but goes to the left to the wing. Beautiful pulled kick in the end. They do have numbers here, West Coast, if they can work it out. Archie, just in front of the commentary box. Sends it in the Cameron direction. Goes off of his chest. Wilcox, Amaturi. That was a beautiful little spin turn there for East Perth, but the kick down the line. It's all the Royals, and I don't think Hamish Brayshaw will want to see that one again on film.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Fisher tried to call him out of it. He was committed to it, Hamish, but I reckon Fisher was in the best spot, and I didn't work that out at all well. So a 50-50 ball on the wing as they continue to changes here. Now Brooksby's checked back in, and so too Matty Allen.
Vardy attempted the big swing, hit out. No connection. Archie goes to win the hard footy. He is a dead set chance to be drowned in that puddle.
Put your flippers on. That is big. They can't throw it up in there, surely, umpire. Do not throw the ball up in the puddle, umpire. Do not throw the ball.
Ruckman will need to be in their Wellingtons for that one.
Step out of there.
O'Neill can't get a clear handball out on this occasion. Loose footy up for grabs. Squeezes to Archie. What a dummy that was from Ainsworth. A couple. Sends the kick. Oh, little bump there from behind. Everything legal, so play on's the call. Have a look at this contest. Very hard to get your hands on it. Another stoppage.
So you can't confirm who washes the white shorts, because why do they look so white? If I had shorts like that and I had to wash them, there's no way they would come out half looking as good as they do.
We got a couple of property stewards for the West Coast Eagles who will be very busy during the week.
Laundry in the club?
We do. At Lathlane, Mineral Resources Park, it's...
So you've answered the question, and you wash them yourselves?
Yeah, correct. Sorry, I thought you wanted individual names. I'm not down there 24/7.
I don't need Sadie the cleaning lady, mate. I just wanted to know. Some people want to know how an AFL club gets all their gear back into working order, especially after a night like tonight. Can't just leave it in your bag over the weekend and just bring it out on Monday.
Be going to FAL for the Nappy Sand sale, I dare say. Be a lot of it needed. Kerno intercepts and his kick toward the wing. Ball locked up. Left half forward flank for the Royal.
Liam Rebillard 6 tackles and Nick Reed 5. So some of the top-up players doing all the heavy lifting with the tackling stakes. 11 between them. Fantastic.
That's what they teach you down at the North Beach factory, mate. Hard footy, defensive as well. Second leading goal kicker, but you've got to put the defensive pressure on as well, Tim.
Brady Gray 10 disposals, Kurt Murdermer 11, and Brendan Archie's had 8.
Throw in. Good broadcast wing.
Good throw in.
Vardy almost taps it straight to a Jang on this occasion. Follows up well, the big fella, but He's tackled, ball spills out. Wilcox, kick smothered, goes backward. Vardy, again working hard for that possession. Archie, very little room to move. He's claimed by a couple of Royals. Holding the ball, it's a bit of a stiff call, though.
No, perfect call. When he picked it up, he could have gone in ball with a hand pass. Absolutely, 100%. He was absolutely had chance to dispose of the footy. Correct call.
Wilcox, Kai Wilcox. His kick is a little askew. Brayshaw.
Sorry.
That's okay. Makes for good commentary. Goes through Williams' hands. Who's at the back?
Don't overcook it.
Bynes.
Solid commentary would be the one.
Brooksby collected his opponent a little high, and Anderson will take the kick.
He's been a real, as you mentioned it a few times, he's been a wonderful servant of the football club. A lot of players have come and gone in his time at the footy club.
His 10th season this year, Goss, with 123 games. It's a fair resume.
I think he's going to end up at Wembley, where a lot of the Augusta and Margaret River boys end up.
If that's where the money's being thrown.
Oh, give us a break, mate.
Kick to centre half forward. Fisher read it from the get-go. Good stuff there from Fisher, peeling off his opponent. Pye says play on. The kick, it's going to fall short. Archie spoils in front of Gorder. East Perth with possession. What a tackle that was, sending him well over the boundary line, and he's synonymous for this, Jarrett Cameron.
Yeah, that's the positive thing for him. He might not be getting a lot of the footy, but these little 1%ers that certainly will be marked down by everyone watching. I'm sure the coaching staff in Melbourne are tuned into the Facebook coverage or the YouTube coverage as we speak.
Mutimer can't burst his way through the pack. Right, fends off the tackle. One, just gets the handball to Rudrum. Kick to centre half forward. Again, it's West Coast taking the uncontested mark for the chaos ball, and Liam Duggan, the recipient. Just great to see Liam Duggan back so soon after his injury. The kick on this occasion is going straight into the arms of Simpson for the Royals, however. The big fella just wants to kick to the pack. Ajang provides a contest, a much needed one at that. Loose footy inside 50. Can they work it out? Brayshaw's kick off the side of the boot. Rebelliard handles it well. Vardy doesn't, but goes off the deck. Through Anderson's hands. Bynes playing a bit of soccer with himself, and it's going to work a treat. O'Neill, Allen left it behind. Soccer kick forward. Ball sitting in a pool. This is King. Soccer's to his advantage. Sharon Wellingham, haven't seen much of him this quarter. Good fend off on that occasion, however. Didn't give Watson much of a chance for a tackle. And it's going to work for the Royals. Mark taken by Houghton. Plays on. Kicks to full forward. Big contest, and Ajang got the better of Harry Edwards on that occasion. Lining up for East Perth's first score of the evening. We've played 17 minutes in the second term, Tim.
Well, as we saw in the first quarter, we're saying easy. This is beyond some folks to score, but I think Ajang, well, he's in the dry patch as well, so he's really going to be standing. Hopefully he's kicking on the side of that bit of a dry pool area in front of him, but really shouldn't have no problems. He's a very talented player and does have the capability of going playing at another AFL club.
First season of league footy. Hasn't missed a game thus far. The kick has gone well across the face. Shows just how hard it is from up here in the cheap seats, Tim.
Yeah, it certainly is. That ball was, certainly just went across there. So we're just checking whether it's out of bounds on the full. Landed on the line according to the boundary umpires. A good conversation there. Well done to the umpire. So still no score for East Perth, and we've basically played 48 minutes of football.
Throw in. Good hit out. Ainsworth collects, barrels it, out of trouble, but East Perth, bit of time to collect. They do so, snaps inside the 50. Loose footy. Mutimer steps around his opponent nicely. Barrels it towards the wing. Blee not paid the mark, nor should he be. O'Neill does well. Back feed to Allen. Oh, but Rudrum gets full horizontal for that smother, and might have popped his finger out of place, certainly telling everyone about it.
Yeah, more the wrist, I reckon, when he did that smother. That was courageous stuff. Lucky not to be paid that mark, East Perth. Thanks to Hungry Jacks. Hope you're enjoying the action. And don't forget Diploma Plumbing. The goal of the day so far, Barney Williams. Thanks to Diploma Plumbing. Get it for all your plumbing needs. diplomaplumbing.com.au.
East Perth, yet another clearance for the quarter. Gorder sends a high ball. Streaming out for the chest mark.
Oh, wow.
Might have got a hand on it because Fisher wasn't paid his mark. Able to get it forward. What a clever tap that was. Marston snaps it forward. Ainsworth had to go with courage. Just got a hand on it. Gee, that's clean there from O'Neill. Snaps round the corner inside 50. A chance. Cameron off the deck. Collected by the water. Semelko moved off it by Bynes. Good size mismatch, but Scott gets there just in time for the Royals. His clearing kick. Kerr falls over with not a lot of pressure, but the tap inboard to Amajuri. Ramsey evades multiple tackles. East Perth, send it to the wing. Fisher back with the flight. That is gutsy stuff
Is
there.
it ever? Is it ever? You know, a lot of blokes have tats who aren't tough. He's got tats and he's tough. That was fantastic.
Kicks just inside the 50. Ball spills out the back. Allen there. Bynes provides good defensive pressure. As too does Rebillard. And Fisher yet again, intercept machine, but the umpire waves play on. Sends it back to exactly where it came from. West Coast want to lock this ball in and reset. Even better, Ainsworth kicks to full forward. Out of the reach of Archie, and we'll have the territory battle tick in our column. Nick Reed, get the kid on the park.
He's pretty odd, isn't he, at the moment?
Well, 19 goals in 12 games says in form. Of a throw-in, left forward pocket for the West Coast Eagles. No one getting a hand anywhere near it on this occasion. The umpires spotted something, and it's going the way of the Royals. It's going to be Gorda's kick, I believe. Brooksby still can't quite work out what for. No, it's going the way of Simpson in the end. So Simpson pumps it long. Good spoil from Petrie and follow-up tackle from the big fella. Amajuri, handball. Marston intercepts. Grubber kick. It's collected from Rudrum for the Royals. No choice but to go long. Duggan, uncontested, puts it down. Here's a chance for the Royals. Untidy, but they are moving it forward. Bailey Williams steps in the way. Gave East Perth no chance of getting a mid on that. Big Bailey Williams kicks almost directly to his opposing big man in Simpson. Gives to Scott, but he's good enough to evade the tackle. Not to hit the target, though. Goes out of play.
Surely they've been told they're going to play the far side of the ground. The ball has come over this side of the ground in 54 minutes of play once.
It's been a tough one to call.
Oh, you've done... Look at the rain. That's snow. You reckon they mentioned the snow any time in the last week's game?
Yeah, they drummed on a bit. Is a rarity if you're ever going to do it.
I know, but once it snowed, it snowed.
That's correct. Masando. His kick round the corner. Ill effective. Ramsey provides a good defensive pressure there for the Royals, and he's back onto it. The ex-Collingwood player. Simpson gives to Miller, but he spills it. Fisher had a good 5 minutes. Little volleyball tap from Williams was clever, but maybe not the right conditions for that one.
4-goal lead in these conditions, and East Perth have not scored.
Do you think that's an 8-goal lead in these conditions, Goss?
I think it's a 12-goal lead. To be brutally honest with you. East Perth genuinely have only looked like scoring 1 goal. And they missed all the scoring from Jen about 5 minutes ago.
Allen, back feed, Ainsworth, sends it high. No one on the end of it. Rudrum has to put his head over it. Thought Archie was going to send him in next week for a minute, but in the end, good discipline. He and Cameron lock up Rudrum.
Get the boy on.
Well, the ball hasn't been this side, as you said, so I think it'll be pretty chilly down there. Not taking Dana Hooker's beanie, I don't think.
She's put the cue back in the record.
What, gone home, you reckon?
Well, until she speaks, I am undecided whether she's still at the venue.
Good tackle there from both Mutimer and Gray, but East Perth still escape.
Come in any time you like, Hooker. Oh, there you are.
Fisher.
Amuse us. Give us something from ground level.
Kick goes 1 metre. Full forward, Simpson drifting back, takes the mark for the Royals.
Have you got anything to give us down there?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, tell us. What do you
go
got?
over to the West Coast boundary, you can see a big bucket. It took me a few minutes to work out exactly what was going on there, but they just keep going in and out and filling it with hot water. So the players, as they come off, they're warming up their hands in there. I'm tempted to sneak over and give it a go.
Take your washing while you're at it.
That's it.
Ah, look at them. Look at that.
Trying conditions here at Leederville Oval. We've played 23 minutes. You wouldn't think there's a ton of time remaining in this term. Miller, run down from behind. Beautiful tackle. Umpire swallowed the whistle. They're surging forward. In fact, they're bringing it back. No advantage given. Oh, no, what have they paid there, Goss? It's gone in the back against Miller on that occasion. So O'Neill, I thought, was great pressure, good tackling, but in the end, bit untidy, the umpire says. Play on. Duggan, kick forward.
That's good from Dana.
Oh, it's brilliant.
Oh, I mean, you know,
Are you claiming the assist, are you?
no, I'm just claiming the fact that she's actually here. She's given us something of note. You know, you don't have to speak a lot to deliver a lot, you know. Hello, are you still there?
Yes, I am there, Goss. I have something else for you. If you head over to the Royals boundary,
Oh, yeah?
they've gone for a slightly different tactic, and they've got the old boxing robes on. You can see them, the big long black
Look at
robes.
the old Dane Rampies.
Yeah.
They wear the big gown. Is that right?
There you go. Can you see them?
No, not from where we are, but I'm sure we'll get a shot from the camera at ground level. Oh, there they are. Yeah, we've got it right there. There's
There you go.
Stanley Wrightson. Nice work by you.
I'll have to ask the boys afterwards who had the better tactic.
Okay, well, you wear the gown and get the hot water, and you're settled for the night. And your
Sounds
beanie.
pretty good to me.
Throw your beanie on. Nice work. Half time. Here it is, and a goalless, scoreless half for the East Perth Football Club. Now, I know these conditions are bad, but a club of this ilk, a long time since a team has gone scoreless at half time, and I reckon John Townsend from the West Australian will be fossicking through his record book as we speak.
I think it's a testament to how West Coast are also defending, Tim. There's a lot of long chaos ball down the line, and if West Coast don't set up with their numbers and their wall, I don't think they're able to repel and keep East Perth out of the realm of scoring.
Yeah, totally agree. We're going to go down shortly, not quite yet, to Dana, who's decided to step out. I think Keegan Brooksby's going to be her target, who had a very good start to the game, the big man, and of course the West Coast Eagles with this lead. 3-6, that's 9 scoring shots to nil in East Perth, and those gowns, those boxing gowns, there's 3 of them as we can see. Good work, Dana, nice work by you down there. Dana is now have to come out of her bunker, find big Keegan Brooksby.
Nah, she won't be coming out.
No,
It'll be come to me.
No.
Dana's playing the home game for interviews.
No, she's got him. I can see her right now. Yeah, no worries. We'll get down there in a moment. 3-6 to no score. As the East Perth and West Coast Eagles leave the ground on a very ordinary night for footy. On a big night for football with, of course, a female umpire for the first time at waffle level, which is great, and a goal umpire female. First time we've had the mix, which is fantastic for our game of AFL. Dana Hooker, you're downstairs, and hopefully you've got Keegan Brooksby.
I am, Goss, and I have Keegan down here with me in the dugout. He only just fits in, actually. Keegan, tell us a bit about the conditions.
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously pretty wet. There's a bit of a wind going towards the scoreboard as well, which is making it pretty hard to use this side of the ground. Bit of an old-fashioned day for footy, really. Just territory, field position, knock it on however you can. Pretty hard to move it cleanly, so it's about the contest.
There's been a few boys stuck in they've been calling upstairs some swimming pools. How's that meant working through that?
I think we've done a pretty good job of embracing it, really. Every time we've gone into that position, we've put our body on the line, we've tried to knock it on, we've kicked it off the ground. You can hear them talking a little bit and not too happy about it, and obviously it's the same for both teams, so the way we've embraced it so far has been really good. We've just got to keep on doing that second half.
It does look like the rain's just stopped just in time for half-time, knowing the weather it'll probably start back up as you run out again, but if it clears up, will that change the way the second half's played out?
I don't think so too much. I mean, they might try and move the ball a little bit cleaner if it doesn't rain too much, but just the footing on the ground is going to make it hard to shift the ball anyway, so I think it's going to be much of the same in the second half. We just got to stick to what we're doing.
Well, thanks very much, Keegan, for your time, and I'll let you get back into the rooms. Cheers.
Good on you, Dana. Thank you, Beanie One, and you just stay dried up with the rest of us. And well done, Keegan Brooksby. Have a look at that. 3-6-24, no score, East Perth, believe it or not. Thanks to Diploma Plumbing and Hungry Jacks, it is half-time. Of course, every Friday you can get it on the West Coast Eagles website, and I'm talking about the rundown thanks to AGL. Here is today's edition. On the West Coast Eagles website, and I'm talking about the rundown thanks to AGL. Here is today's edition. Hello everyone, welcome to the rundown. Thanks to AGL. For all your energy needs, go to agl.com.au. Well, controversy surrounds the panel today because last week, as you would be aware, Andrew Emery was a late withdrawal. Selectors have spoken. The announcement today that this player has been omitted permanently from the rundown today. Ryan Daniels from 7 News, and we're joined by Big Paddy Sweeney, so the free-to-air networks are well-versed here today. Welcome, Ryan.
Yeah, thank you, Goss. And we've gone taller, so clearly they thought they wanted a bit more height on the side, less running, and it really wanted to trouble the defenders.
One big happy family. Our selection's probably a little bit like Adelaide. It's a bit all over the shop this year, isn't it?
Now, last week, Ryan spoke about kicking 4 goals for John Wollaston in a quarter and then not getting cited. I kicked the winning goal in the 89 D-grade premiership for Wembley. Your claim to fame also involves putting a snag through.
Yeah, the only goal in the B plate grand final. I say B plate because we were there in the second half of the division. We were that bad, and we got rolled by about 16 goals against Cardinia. So not a good day.
Only kicked 1 goal for the match, the whole team.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, beautiful.
But moving along, let's get on with the show.
Good to see you kicked on. Last week, it was a narrow win for the West Coast Eagles, and they were challenged at various stages. In summary, a win's a win. That's exactly what Adam Simpson would say. And it had a finals-like feel about it, Paddy.
Yeah, it did, and I think the intensity and the pressure would have suited West Coast in terms of getting a nice dress rehearsal. Purely for mine, it was the weight of numbers for West Coast that actually got the job done. You look at the supply and territory, the inside 50s, 63 inside 50s to 41. West Coast should have won this game by 10 goals, and I think that first quarter, they missed opportunities as well. So the spread, as I mentioned, Darling, Allen, Waterman, all 3 goals. Willie Rioli, career high, 21 touches. They're just getting contributions from everyone at the moment, which is a great sign going into finals.
It felt like to me, we've talked a lot about different kinds of wins and how premiership teams need to win ugly and they need to win well and they need to win big. This was one where they just outlasted a team that had so much to play for. They were so desperate. And Adelaide constantly, it seemed, were getting lucky. They were getting lucky bounces. Tex Walker's goal was ridiculous. They had a couple others that just sort of worked their way perfectly. So they just had to outlast. And there were 2 things to me that stood out from an individual standpoint. One was Josh Kennedy, not because he was the man, but because he was the foil. Because he allows, his role now is so important, not to be the Coleman medalist anymore, but to be the guy who gives Jack Darling a chance to do what Jack Darling does well. Same with Waterman, same with Rioli and Ryan. He is the key to that entire forward line because he unlocks everybody else. And it really unlocked Willie Rioli. I was thinking yesterday who the best small forward in the competition is, and it's clearly Charlie Cameron. But after that, Willie Rioli is in the conversation with 5 or 6 other blokes. He's that good right now. His form is terrifying.
Need a rest, Josh Kennedy. I think Adam Simpson almost fell off his chair yesterday when that was suggested. I mean, really? 2 games out from the finals campaign and Josh Kennedy needs a rest. He's been champing at the bit to get out there and train and play every week.
How important do you think forward line chemistry is? Because to me that is the most important thing heading into a final series.
Absolutely. Now, my turning point last week was when Shannon Hearn rushed that through. I honestly believe, and I've said this before, I think it actually woke everyone from their slumber. They kicked 4 goals in 11 minutes after that point, and the crowd came to life. It was almost like we had a hangover from the Wallabies the night before. The bottom line is, I reckon that stung. I think, as much as it was a free kick, and I think Adam Simpson was quick to knock that on the head when the crowd was getting upset, I think it was just the emotion and the frustration of the fans more than anything. There was no protest, apart from Gov, I think, but he needs to read the rules. Just in regards to what happened in that, and I think it was actually the trigger point for West Coast to go, come on guys, we've got to start getting a little bit serious. And it was one surge that was the end result.
Well, sometimes you need a spark, whether it be a little mini melee or just a disappointing decision from an umpire or a one-on-one contest where someone does something spectacular, maybe like Liam Ryan 2 weeks ago with that mark. You're right, those moments can just shift momentum a little bit and just make you angry. Hearn's the Hulk, isn't he?
Yeah, 2 things I loved about that was Will Schofield was filthy because Taylor Walker got another goal. Then about 10 minutes later, the ball went down to the Eagles forward line and it went about 2 metres out and they rushed it through and the crowd went absolutely bonkers. I think everyone needs to read up on the rules.
Very much so. Now, Dusty Martin probably holds the key. Aside of the 2 boys up forward, more on those in a moment in regards to Revolt and Lynch. But let's talk about Dusty Martin. Is he having the same impact that the Dusty Martin we know in regards to his effectiveness, not so much stats, but his impact on play? And when Cochin's not there, is he a very different player, Ryan?
That 2017 season is one of the best individual seasons we will ever see. It may be the best. He's the first ever to win a Norm, a Brownlow and a premiership in the same year. So that is almost put to the side. His first half of this season was not Dusty level, not even close, but he is in red-hot form. I know he missed last week, but before that, he was really starting to turn the corner into something dangerous, the match winner that we know he is. I don't think it matters for him if Cochin's there or not anymore. I think there's other guys around that are starting to lift. Bolton, Graham, these guys look pretty good now. I think if you're going to stop him, this is why Mark Hutchings is in the team. That is what he's here for. The problem is when Dusty goes forward, He'll tear Hutchie apart. So that's where Jackson Nelson comes in. That's what these two guys need to do now, because this is your perfect opportunity to get it right with a forward midfield mix in terms of your tagging.
I think it's a twofold effect as well. Hutch definitely in the middle. I actually think that Will Schofield's the man for the job.
Dusty?
Yeah, in the forward line. I do. And I know it sounds a little bit weird, but he is your real lockdown defender. And I think we saw that in the grand final. He played on steel side bottom at times. He played tall, and he also played on Jordan De Goey at times in that forward 50. And he was isolated. No bigger stage to perform on than the grand final when you're in the D50 all by yourself at sea, 100,000
So the question there is then, if you're putting Schofield on Dusty, then you've got Lynch and Revolt. So that means McGovern and Barris have to somehow lock down on those two guys.
They could potentially. Otherwise, then you leave Shepherd. He can do a little bit of that comeback intercept. You want to free him up as well. I think Jackson Nelson, he's an option. The thing is with Dusty, he has to be a team approach. There's there's not one person that can shut down him. He's too good, and he's got that swagger back, as you said. He's now running, he's kicking goals with confidence as well.
What's a win with Dusty? At the end, on Sunday afternoon, not just let's take team result out of it, but what are the numbers we need to see for Dustin Martin for the Eagles to win the game?
Well, it's interesting. You say take the team result. Give him 45 and win by a point. I think that's exactly what Adam Simpson would want, because that does happen where players get a lot of it. He's more damaging mid-forward. We know that, and that's going to be the issue. You probably want to work him the other way. So you talk about Hutchings. Hutchings almost has to be an offensive player as well. He's got to be a weapon. He's got to push down, maybe get Dusty out of his comfort zone, defending around that sort of 65, 70 zone area. I think there has to be a level of attack from Mark Hutchings and not just in that shutdown mode, albeit that's what he's in the team for. So you believe Will Schofield, Paddy, has a role to play. If Andrew Embley's watching, you're welcome back to come here next week. There is no chance.
You don't think?
No
I reckon
chance.
Scully loves the opportunity.
I know he
loves
would.
The big stage. I think he would.
It doesn't fit them. It doesn't fit. It's not. Dusty's not even going to be down that far. Scully's a last line defender.
And we talk about Josh Kennedy. This week it came up with the unlocking of the forward line. Schofield does that for the back line.
Correct.
Because it allows McGovern and Barris to do exactly what they do well. And Shep and Hearn, and it just switches everything up. So I think not a bad idea.
Terrible idea.
Terrible idea.
I want Schofield to have a crack at it.
Okay, well,
I'd love to see it happen.
It might happen. Josh Kennedy and Jack Darling. Okay, now we've waxed lyrical about JD, Jack Darling in super season. More on him in a moment. Revolt and Lynch are the standouts, and Adam Simpson made comment of it at his press conference. He basically said it looks like they've been playing together for 5 years. The synergy's there, the space is there, they know which each other's working, and that was when they went and got Lynch. That was the concern that a lot of people had, that would stifle Jack Revolt's style. Now, Revolt hasn't had the world's best season through injuries and the like. They do play some incredible football as a duo. Who's the best out of the two? If we're comparing head-to-head, the duos.
The best two right now is probably the Richmond combo, but it's close. Who will be the best in this particular game? I think West Coast will be, but I'm taking it out of just those two guys. I'm looking at it from the whole forward line point of view, and it comes back to that Kennedy unleashing the rest of those guys. I think as a total, West Coast forward line is more potent. But the reason the Revolt Lynch thing works is because about 3 years ago, Jack Revolt figured out that if he's unselfish, the team is far better. He doesn't care if he kicks goals anymore. It's like with Geelong with Cam Mooney, and all he cared about was goal assists. That's what it sort of turned to with Jack Revolt. He figured it out. That's the secret, it's the chemistry.
Yeah, and I think with West Coast, I think the more potent combination in terms of scoreboard pressure will be the Richmond, but I think in terms of team importance, it's definitely West Coast, because I still think Josh Kennedy's the most important Eagle running around in the park to the makeup of the team. And I think that the amount of pressure they apply, the crunching packs, creating opportunities for small, and then also the pressure, I think that's Jack Darling and Josh Kennedy.
Rank them. Those four guys, in terms of who you'd most like to have right now heading into September, out of Darling, Kennedy, Lynch and Revolt, 1 to 4.
Good question.
Story without notice. Question without notice.
Darling, Lynch, Kennedy, Revolt. Darling, Lynch, Kennedy, Revolt for me, straight off the top of my head.
I agree.
I'd go JK number 1 and swap JK and Darling.
Okay.
You did right about Kennedy last week, and I made comment of it during the commentary, that he didn't get beaten in any one-on-ones last week. And that is just a sign of a mature man who realises, as you said, it's not about kicking 5 or 6. Bring the ball down, bring everyone else into the game, and he just physically gets in the way.
Yeah.
You know, and unless it's a really bad kick and it clears his head and he's sort of caught underneath the footy. But pound for pound, in those one-on-ones, and that's where I think he'll play. Well, I think Grimes will get the job. I would imagine Grimes will get the job. Grimes will like that. He'll like to run off Kennedy. Kennedy's quick. When the ball hits the ground, Kennedy doesn't let any easy outs. I think Grimes' attacking work through the back 50 can be stifled if Kennedy just drives him mad almost as a defensive forward once the ball's out of his zone.
He did have that moment last week when he hadn't had a goal yet. And he could have given it off. He's like, no, I'll just want one. Let me make sure I get my one.
Hardcore fender.
I don't blame him.
Jack Darling, All-Australian form, of course. I think we're going to have the same answer. Does he warrant being in the All-Australian team? Jack Darling, does he warrant being in the All-Australian team? Ryan Daniels, Paddy Sweeney.
Yeah, the numbers are starting to really stack up. First half of the year, as we've said, it wasn't his best, but he's flipped it from last year. He's actually put his best performance in.
I don't know if you know, but earlier on in the year, Ryan had him in the WAFL.
Well,
no disrespect to the WAFL boys, but that's where he wanted Jack
Ryan
Darling.
had him on the trade table to the Bulldogs. Try and get a Norton or an English back.
Do that trade. If you get Aaron, if you can get Aaron Norton, you would think about that trade. He's kicked 50 goals this year. His career high for a season is 53. He is going to pass that, and that's not even including the finals. So we could see Jack Darling kick close to 60 goals this year. It's his best season, statistically. I think he'll be in the All-Australian team, and I think he deserves it.
Yeah, I think there's 3 key forwards in that All-Australian team on the ground. I think Jeremy Cameron, you just have to reward. Tom Hawkins has been standout again. Jack Darling gets the nod over Tom Lynch.
Yeah.
Ben Brown, not so much in the conversation. The reason why I love Jack Darling's work, the top 5 there in the goal kickers, he's actually had the least shots on goal. He's had 68 shots on goals with 50 goals 18. The best conversion rate out of those bigs by a mile, nearly going at 75%. I also wanted to just touch on one of them as well, the stats, the tackles. Darling's had 54 this year. The next best out of those power forwards, Tom Lynch, on 34. So that shows you just how crucial, what we're talking about, the pressure from Darling and Kennedy and what they do in that attacking forward line.
I've got a feeling he's going to end in tears. I don't think he will be in the final lineup, and not because he doesn't deserve to be, but you just get that. And I know we are a little bit in WA, but you reckon they're not over there.
Bigger picture, do you think over the years the West Australian teams, and maybe it's the South Australian teams too, I don't know, do you think they get gypped when it comes to those?
Absolutely.
I've always
Is it Jacko on the panel?
Yeah, but I feel sorry for Jacko because he's in a no-win situation.
He's a whipping boy.
Because he just walks in and goes, X, Y, Z, X, Y, Z, X, Y, Z, and then he's got 5 other blokes sitting there going, well, sorry, Jack, 5-1. And that's just a numbers game, and he's been loaded up again. So I think he does a remarkable job getting as many as he can in from both football clubs here in the West. But Darling for the squad, I just got a feeling he'll just miss. I hope not. We do this, and I think we've done this for the last couple of weeks, and that is where do we place the West Coast Eagles? And how does the top 4 going to permeate? And we've all done our ladder predictors, and we've all changed them. I keep trying to work out whether Brisbane's stuck in the winning mode. They just keep on winning. Where does it place West Coast? Where do you have West Coast? Can they make the top 2? Because they're going to need top 2 to really get that dream run through. And or hope that Brisbane finish first and they finish third.
Well, that's part that's actually starting to look possible, isn't it?
Yep.
Because Brisbane are running red hot. I've tipped them this week against Geelong.
They can beat Richmond next week.
Absolutely. It's going to be very warm at the Gabba. It's 28 degrees apparently. The Cats won't like that. They like it chilly. I think Brisbane will win this weekend. I think West Coast will win this weekend. And that makes things very, very complicated. At the moment, I think the most likely scenario is that West Coast finish third and have to go to the Gabba. Because Brisbane, as you say, they just keep winning. They could easily beat Geelong and Richmond. Yeah. If they drop both of those games, West Coast's in that box seat for second.
Gabba doesn't hold that many fares for West Coast, surely. Yes, go back to round 1, but it was all a bit slow getting going, and Brisbane, I think, caught everyone off guard, and they've continued to do so all year. I'm not so sure going to the Gabba, as much as it's tough, and we know they've been awesome up there this year, I don't think West Coast would fear that.
No, I just don't know you'd want to go there because it's different. The yellow football, they talk about how it plays different at night. If they're playing that...
hang on. Paddy,
Hang on, mate.
You're now telling me the colour of the football is going to depend on how the West Coast Eagles go in the finals campaign. Because if you are, that spot will be vacant for the rest of the year.
It'll just be one-on-one. I tell you, no, I'm not just saying it, but West Coast, I feel, play their better football at day. I think they play better football daytime than night. And I actually just think... Going to the Gabba, it's a different scenario. We talk about the temperature this week for Geelong. I think that does have an impact as well. Brisbane love it up there. It's their own fortress. They're getting sellout crowds. They're up there now. And the other thing is they're not going to have an NRL team probably playing in the finals. Everyone from Brisbane's going to get behind this side. Yep. It'll be like a fortress. West Coast must finish top 2 if they want to win the flag.
Yep. I think they'll just keep on winning and they'll win this week. Why will they beat Richmond this week?
I think just... I don't know why they'll beat Richmond this week. I just know that they will. How does that sound? I think...
That is so cool. I like that answer. I like that answer. There's no science to it.
Well, I think a lot of the guys that have been playing well for Richmond are momentum guys. Shai Bolton has just come off a little bit. Jack Graham was fantastic last week. Are we sure if he can do that again? I don't know. Rioli's been out of form, the Richmond version of the Riolis. I just think that West Coast right now are clicking on all cylinders. A little birdie's told me that Marlon Pickett won't be named in the main team today, but he is the 23rd man.
Oh, well.
And if there is any sign of an injury, any soreness at all, they are desperate to play him. So don't be surprised if there's a laid out that we see a WA product and a great story of Marlon Pickett.
You reckon that
coming.
would be putting the fear of God into the West Coast?
No, not at all.
Pickett is making his debut.
Hey,
as much as we're pleased.
Don't sleep on Pickett. That guy can play.
What a game to make your debut in.
Yeah,
if
exactly.
you got that. It won't happen.
Fantastic.
West Coast will win this one because they know how crucial top two is. I think their team spread at the moment. They're
That's
playing...
not what Richmond don't.
No, I just think West Coast is better at the moment. They've got better input from everyone across the board. And I think they've got great depth, they've got great consistency. The amount of talent and players on the park as well, apart from Nick Nat and injuries and Liam Duggan, they're almost operating at their best 22. And the reason why they'll win as well, Luke Shuey loves the ground. Norm is his nickname, 39 touches, a goal, 11 clearances, 9 tackles and 20 contested possessions. The last time he played there, not even good enough for a vote from you when that happened against Hawthorn earlier this year.
He doesn't like Luke Shuey.
Oh, give me a break.
He said Luke Shuey
He'll
should
turn
be
it
in
on
the
again.
Watford.
Yes?
He'll turn it on again this week. Eagles to win by 13.
Yeah, Eagles MCG holds no fear for them whatsoever. They're in form, and I do believe it all starts in the middle. And we can talk about revolt and what happens down forward, and we can talk about Grimes down back and the like. West Coast have just got to win it at the source, and they've got to win all that contested.
Goss, Embers is just excellent.
And we were just warming up too. That was my best line about to come. We had to leave it there.
Just warming up. We're 16 minutes in. How long does it go for?
No, the best line was coming up then. Hope you enjoyed the rundown. Thanks to AGL. And, well, we're about to get underway. There's Gabby Simmons, who's umpiring her first game of Waffle League football. Big night for the 18-year-old, doing a good job too. On a tough night for footy. Second half for Hungry Jacks and Diploma Plumbing. For all your plumbing needs, go to diplomaplumbing.com.au. The Eagles lead 3-6-24. East Perth have not scored.
Ball back in the middle. Dobson adopted the long sleeves. In fact, it's Anderson adopted the long sleeves. Half-time. Clever stuff there from the experienced Royal. Ball bouncing. Oh, she's out to half-forward. Brooksby just disposes of Blee. The umpire, what's he paid there? Is it deliberate? It must be, because Brooksby's hurrying to the footy. The big ruckman takes it quickly. Spots Allen in the pocket. Almost juggles it. Not quite on that occasion. On ground level, the Roars prevail, but good smother, good pressure there from West Coast, keeping it locked in from Matty Allen.
What about Sydney beat Melbourne by 8 goals tonight in the AFL fixture?
Did you tip that one?
No, tipped Melbourne. Thought they'd bounce back. Thought they were okay in Alice Springs against us.
Off the deck, Wilcox misses it completely. Did he go into the back of the West Coast Eagle there? No whistle, nothing giving. It's Mutimer having to get himself up off the deck there. No, it's Nick Reid on that occasion. Couldn't see with the face buried into the turf.
It's umpire Trent McPhee, one of the more experienced waffle umpires nowadays.
Brooksby searching for Allen, but he's taken a ground immediately. We'll do it all over again.
Tipping wet conditions at the MCG, but nothing like this, I don't think, especially the quality of the ground on Sunday.
Blee doing battle in the ruck against Brooksby on this occasion. Dobson bends down, picks on up, strong in the body. Sends it outside 50. Fisher, good luck picking that one up, boys. They attempt it on this occasion. In the end, the umpire, no choice but to start it all yet again. Bailey Williams will step into the ruck against Simpson for this contest. Good body strength there from Bailey Williams. Well, the umpires, he said, illegally.
Oh, that's tough. That is tough. That's just a show of strength, and the strength won out, and he got punished for being stronger.
Simpson wants to dish off and delegate. Long kick from Ramsey. Down the line. Good spoil there from the West Coast Eagles, searching for boundary. Dobson gets in the way of it. Good tackle from Archie. Make sure this ball goes over and out.
Dobson's made for this weather. Have a look at him, would you? Big, strong.
Hard man to move off his line.
No hair makes him twice as tough. It does, mate. Scares me, that type of stuff.
Williams. Good in the ruck. Cameron, claim. Rudrum pins the arm, does well. Right. Off the trusty left boot. Brings it inboard. Watson leaves it behind. Good work there from Houghton. Gives to Miller. Little chip kick, finds Wellingham. Cole, not much you could do on that occasion. Was caught between two minds of going back to goal.
Come on, Sharrod.
79 games with the West Coast Eagles.
He hasn't had a huge night, Sharrod. He's just getting to the end of it.
Well, if he's playing one out in the goal square, I'd give you one clue as to why.
Tell you what, this is a tough kick because he's going to be kicking right from the muddy, wet bit. Right, unless he pulls up short of it.
He does. Distance not a problem. He's slammed into the woodwork.
Scored. It's a start.
Not quite the dream start from the Royals, but they'll take a score at this stage, I dare say. West Coast will bring it out of their back line. Tough bouncing ball to handle. Edwards mops up. Rebillard will give to Marston, has to get rid of it quickly, does to the wing. Brooksby front position on the second bite. West Coast want to move it quickly. Ainsworth running through the centre of the ground.
We're out here.
Here's a chance. No one between Mutimer and the goals. Got a runner on the outside. It's Reed. Just slips through his fingertips. They had Brady Gray running on the inside as well. They had the numbers.
Yes. You know what I would have done if I was Kurt Mutimer? Picked it up or kicked it to the goal square. Cute hand pass in these conditions, doesn't matter who it is.
Always had too many options.
Just get it, kick it down, mate. Get it 30 metres close to the goal.
Chance goes begging for West Coast, but they do have the ball trapped inside 50, and Mutimer make sure Wright isn't going anywhere. Marston taken without it. Scott snaps it forward at ground level. West Coast battling hard. Williams kicks it off the deck.
It's been good.
Boundary line a win on this occasion.
Stanley Wright still living with Joshy Rotham?
Well, they were back in round, when they last played, round 6.
In May 16, yeah.
They were. I don't think there's been a fallout since that I know about.
Never know in football circles. Every now and then things can go awry.
I'm going to say yes. I'm going to go out on a limb. Marston. Wilcox wearing him like a glove. Brooksby, little give to Rebillard, back to Marston. Brayshaw off one step. Snaps it. A little bit off target. The ball out of play.
I'm going to say this without sounding like a broken record. Is there any reason why they are playing on that side, from that wing to that pocket? 90% of the game has been there. 90%.
Brookers told you it was the wind that was going out there.
Yeah, but I want Dana downstairs to go and find out at three-quarter time, or when she speaks to Gavin Bell, and find out, has there been an instruction from both teams to play that side of the ground for any reason whatsoever? Is it better conditions? Is it the weather making it go that way? Because it is living on the far side. It has not. It's been here once so far in the whole game.
What's funny is I came out onto the other side of this ground on the broadcast side to see which way the wind was going at the start of the game, and it felt like it was coming this way. So it,
towards you,
mate, it was swirling at that stage. I'll give you the hot tip.
Did you know when I arrived here? We'll keep an eye on this. I'll get you about the crowd figure shortly.
Well, you can take over because that kick's gone out on the full.
Yeah, so when I arrived here at 6:10, the people, the lady, the men up the top there, in the far on Loftus Street side, running the turnstile, they said they'd had one paying customer, and that's when the weather was coming sideways.
Well, who goes into that entrance though? Honestly,
special people.
I like the crowd in front of us here in the major
There's
stand.
a lot in the bar area at East Perth.
There's a truckload. I think it's a commendable effort for those that have turned out. And the camera's not going to get a good look at it.
Yeah,
it's more than I thought.
They're going,
oh, that's not a great shot, is it?
They're leaving. Come back.
Our Royal supporters, you'd have to say, Tim.
I think their kids were playing in the half-time.
Well said. Ainsworth can't get boot to ball on this occasion. Scott clears it for the Royals, goes to the wing.
They're all girls too. It's fantastic.
The double fist spoil from Cole goes straight to the arms of Ramsey for the Royals. A little toe poke there from Brayshaw. It's going to work for West Coast. The truck can't get through. Little dribbler in the end, but Scott again repelling for the Royals, only as far as Fisher. He's been an intercept marking machine so far in this game.
Has he ever?
He's going to kick to a contest on the far side, of course. Simpson spills it. Marston tries to bullock his way through against Dobson. Didn't pick his opponent too well on that occasion. Little grubber kick forward. Dobson on the end of it yet again. Umpire's blown his whistle. It's going to be a hanging on free kick, and Sharrod Wellingham the recipient. Against Watson perhaps on that occasion.
It's down the ground. No, it's gone back. It's gone all the way back, hasn't it? And it's a free kick back down the ground.
Gee, that's gone a long way back. The Royals would be well flat with that result, you'd think.
I don't know, but also three phys ed staff are disinterested.
Hilly, long ball. Oh, little mini ride there on the back of Nathan Vardy. No mark taken. Hot ball to be won. Vardy somehow squeezes a kick out, but ready and waiting there, Shane Hilly.
We'll get to Dana in a moment, see if she's got anything else for it. So far, she's had gowns for East Perth and hot water for West Coast. It'll need something special for the third quarter.
They've been better than anything else we're offering up here, I think, though. Zhang at ground level. Gorda misses the soccer attempt. Fisher on hands and knees, peddling it out, and Brayshaw just wallops it out of the defensive 50. Ball to be won on the wing. Dobson mishandles, but keeps it in play. Goes through the hands of Brayshaw on that occasion. Kerno, good chase back from behind. He's going to be rewarded, is he? No, free kick. Can't see. No, it's going the way of the Royals because Gorda wants it in a hurry. Hilly wants to move it fast, but there's not a ton of space in front of him. You'll see on this kick. To the back. Good fly there for the West Coast Eagles. Vardy takes a quality intercept mark amongst many others.
31 inside 50s to West Coast, 13 to East Perth. Interesting, East Perth have handballed the ball 79 times in this weather. Is that Sparks?
It is. I think he would be in charge of the shorts.
Well, Sparks was in charge of the bar, so where he's standing, he was in charge of the Subiaco Football Club bar for many a long year. The great Kate Sparks, he's a good man, Sparks. He's one of the all-time good blokes in footy.
That's a great kid, mind you. Setting it inside 50, a chance here for the Royals. Matty Allen, good juggling mark.
Did you know Sparks' brother, Russell, I think, had his jaw broken by Graham Myers? Is it Graham Myers, the Geelong guy? His dad, David.
Was I born at this point?
His dad, David.
Oh, heavy contest there at centre half forward. Going to be a free kick. Sue Miller against Cole. Here's East Perth's best chance at the quarter, you'd think. Long kick to a dangerous area. Pack flies. Williams gets a fist. Sorry, no, it's Vardy gets a fist. It's going a free kick in favour of Fisher, I believe. Going against Sharrod Wellingham.
So Brian Myers' dad is David Myers. Played for Subiaco and Claremont in the Waffle. Tough. Was tough as nails. Anyway.
Shall we write it down?
So Sparks' brother had his jaw broken by Brian Myers' old man playing Waffle.
There you go. There you go. Mutimer, sand wedge.
Go to Dana in a moment.
That's going to have ice on it by the time he gets down. What a wonderful grab there. Keegan Brooksby spots something in the corridor he likes. Ainsworth meanders to it, puts his head over it. Tough stuff, right? Almost took it off. Cole tackled his opponent without it.
Yeah,
umpire spotted every bit of it.
Let's go down to Dana Hooker. Dana, what do you got for us in the three-quarter time moment?
Well, Goss, I thought I'd give you some footy information, seeing as you've been begging for it upstairs. But you can just notice within the play that basically all the players on the field are just within 50 metres of the football. No one's spreading or getting any width, and that's just clearly because of the conditions and the lack of speed of ball movement, really. And no one's been sort of willing enough to give it a switch or try and open that up. And the players aren't really moving to any of those positions either, so expect to see that ball just going up and down the wings.
All right, speaking far too much sense and too much football chat.
So we saw a shot of Xavier O'Neill screaming for the footy. Sadly, Francis Watson can't kick it 100 with a wet footy, but he will learn that one.
Nice work by Dana Hooker, doing a great job on the boundary line, but the ball is at the West Coast end of the ground.
And I think the man in question, Xavier O'Neill, locking that one up. Some a little bit fumbly handballing communication and skill work there for East Perth, and West Coast capitalised. Stoppage at the top of the arc. Williams steaming in to take this ruck contest against Simpson. Good work there from Bailey. Blee goes off the deck. Ball trickling out to half forward. Archie Soccer gets it back somehow. Has Reed in support, but goes in himself. That has to have travelled half a metre. No mark taken. Blee off the deck. Fisher intercepts. High ball. Back into the 50. If it stays in play, it's spoiled out. We'll have a throw in.
Got some stats for you. Yeah, there's Stanley Wright under the blood rule. He's got the two jumpers on, the long sleeve under the short sleeve. Doesn't really happen nowadays. Two jumpers.
Williams, deft little tap. It's well read by Kerr, though.
I was going to say that's not tough when you've got two jumpers on, but he looks like he could handle himself.
A bit tougher than us up here, I reckon.
15 to Brayshaw, 15 to Mutimer, 13 to Archie and Marston. Marston's had a good game since about midway through that second quarter. 12 to Fisher and 11 to Allen.
Fisher, kick inside 50, goes through the hands of Archie. A chance, Cameron. Untidy handball, Ainsworth can't find a teammate. Cole, good defensive tackle there. Brooksby Has to be clean, he is. Good work there from the big fella. Curno's kick finds Cameron. Not too much space on offer. Jared Cameron working it out. Sends it to the dangerous area. Bynes competes. Gray has some room. Ainsworth off a step, doesn't have the distance, and Dobson floats back for an easy mark.
Just Jared Cameron's second kick for the night. His tackling pressure's been good, but hasn't found a lot of the footy.
I do love the fact that Drew Petrie is playing in the same team as Jared Cameron. A next generation, almost mentor, protege relationship the two of them had. Here's a chance. Gee, a great little turn there from Bleed. Gets rid of one, not the other. Handball. Dangerous area, Rudrum confronted, so too is Anderson. The West Coast Eagles hot on this footy, and great work locking it in. East Perth couldn't run it out through the handball chain on that occasion.
Look at the heart he's sold. Look at those people. Good stuff, boys. Fantastic.
Ball up inside West Coast forward 50. Mutimer. Topo. Little short one in the end. Kerr dribbles it out. Willingham had no interest in backing down and picking that one. Ainsworth.
Get up, Flipper.
Hard work. Dobson lands on his backside, but still got it out of the dangerous area as far as East Perth are concerned. And Drew Petrie.
He's clean. Have a look at him. He's dead set clean. This bloke. He's looked like he's got brand new shorts, so he must have changed them at half time.
Hasn't had to do a lot back there, but when he has,
look at him. He hasn't got a ounce of mud on him.
Sends it to half forward. Off the fingertips of Paddy Bynes. Hard footy to be won. Really out of the bottom of that pack.
Do you reckon he'll be fined on Monday, Roscoe? Bynes?
You could. Oh, you're there again, are you?
Bynes fine, we call it.
Nathan Vardy pretty keen to get back on, maybe to keep warm.
Sneaky pants go.
Kerr opts for the long ball out of defence. Francis Watson, bit slippery underfoot. The chance for West Coast to just push this one over and reset, and Archie does just that.
Yeah, Chris Marston trying to check into the game. I think Archie a bit sore after that. They'll be sore and sorry and very heavy-legged, these players, when they, by the time they get off, as there's a change. I think Rebillard's checked out, Chris Marston checked in. Bailey Williams checks out, and Big Vard's checked back into the game.
It's nice to have the ball in front of us for a change.
Yes,
hello. They go.
Stop the presses.
Finds Matty Allen, but Amajuri wearing him tightly. Crowd want ball. Don't know what game they're watching. Watson v Dobson. Good contest there. Great follow-up tackling from West Coast, and Cameron makes sure he's going nowhere in a hurry. Love to see Cameron's tackle count at this point in the game.
Just one moment, please. Can't do everything. 8 to Rebillard, 7 to Reed, 6 to Archie, 4 to Gray, 4 to Petrie. Jared Cameron's tackle count he's only got 2. I'd dispute that every day of the week.
Wellingham clean at ground level. McKenzie goes through his hands, but has Scott in support.
His pressure's been good. Tackling, his pressure's been good.
The kick is precise. It's put down, but Hilly finds himself with a ton of space, drops an easy chest mark, puts himself under pressure.
That'll bring rain.
High ball, Dobson v Watson. Good spoil there from Francis, brings the ball down. Hilly, again chasing on this occasion. Duggan with a bit of poise. Sends it to the wing. Rebilliard needs to put on the pressure here, does so, and gains valuable territory. Soccer's off the deck, but Anderson...
Oh, Masto, well done.
Got a ton of space. Chris Marston off the deck. If it stays in, danger times for East Perth, and Masto, frustrated as he should be. Did all the hard work there, but in the end, you'll take that. The ball just outside West Coast 50. Still, the score 24-1 in favour of the Eagles.
Stanley's had been all patched up. He's right to go.
Throw in. Brooksby in great position, looking for Allen. Taken without it. Being ridden there by Ramsey. Kick inside the 50. Brady Gray does well. Loves it in and under. Archie, top of the square. Big contest. Good spoil there for East Perth. Big footy to be won here. Pick up there from Allen. Tries to shrug the bleed tackle. Can he get rid of it? Only just Cameron. Well collected there from Cahill. And East Perth grimly hanging on here.
Good job by East Perth's defence. There was a couple of chances there. It's just so hard to get your footing to get the ball onto your boot. Forget about the skill level. This is just tough stuff for everyone involved at the moment. Tough stuff. Good stuff too.
Brutal football here at Leederville Oval for the beginning of round 19.
Free kick. It's got to be free.
Zhang takes it himself, and the umpire is going to say it's all yours.
Brooksby. pushed him out, no doubt. Absolutely no doubt. Just when the ball was in the air, two-hand push, I reckon. If we get a chance to the replay, here it is here. Here we go. Bang. Just pushed him off. Vardy. Vardy free, not Big Brooksby, but Vardy's free kick.
Nathan Vardy, a chance for his second of the evening.
Multiple goal kicker.
Can he take full advantage? Nathan Vardy puts it a little bit to the left, and he's only narrowly missed, but West Coast unable to put East Perth to the sword here in the third quarter.
3-7-25 to 1 point. Get him on, 66.
Just the second score of the third term. A point apiece. Thrilling stuff here at Leederville Oval. Basando has it.
What did you say?
Thrilling stuff here at Leederville Oval.
Just don't go throwing loose words around. That's not thrilling. It's tough.
Got to keep the viewers on board here,
Yeah,
guys.
no, there's not. What else is to watch, mate?
Ajanga's clean. Handball. Mackenzie running by, but left it behind. West Coast keen to just hold it up at this stage. Archie happy with that. I think East Perth wanted ball, nothing doing. Scott little displeased with his time on the boundary.
16 hit-outs for Brooksby, 14 to Vardy and 10 to Williams and 9 to Ajang. So the big West Coast Eagles, the big three, certainly dominating in the ruck contest. And Eddie Simpson's had 4 for East Perth. Just taking a look at some of the other stats here in this game as well. Again, the handball count, good signs for West Coast, not overusing the handball in these conditions. East Perth had 89 handballs to 62, tackle count 60 to 59, and as I mentioned, the hit-outs 41-17 West Coast.
O'Neill sends it deep inside forward 50. Great tackle there from East Perth and Wilcox, I believe. And that was a clutch one. West Coast with a bit of momentum heading toward goal on that occasion.
38 inside 50s to 18. So 38 inside 50s for 3 goals, 7.
Wilcox really restricting Brady Gray on that occasion. Ball up. Vards looking for the tap, corridor side. No West Coast midfielder in sight. Archie hovering around this ball.
That's on the full.
Umpire didn't see it.
Umpire. That's on the full. Jared Cameron, you are spot on. Let's have a look at this. Yep, I reckon that's...
No, this is why you...
Oh, mate, hang on, mate, we're a long way from it.
Well, then don't make the goal.
Mate, I want him to move the play. This is ridiculous having to deal in these conditions.
Here's a chance. Mutimer dispossessed. Wellingham there playing a little bit more up the ground for East Perth, as he should be. Here's a chance. Mutimer got a thumping left foot, but he's hooked it on this occasion. Just the 2 behinds for West Coast in this third quarter.
I reckon it's a bad thing. East Perth get 1 for the game.
Yeah, yep. What's that?
It's thrilling, the usual words.
Tight tussle. Still a 4-goal game. Wilcox sends it long to the outer side, but a quality mark there. It's coming back.
Tommy.
Big Tommy Cole wants to give off. Long ball going to the pocket. Just stays in play. Ainsworth fends the tackle. He's on the right side for the left footer, but again, that's skinny. Didn't give it a chance. Another behind.
Good fend off. There's big Keegan Brooksby, Matty Allen. Get him on, Nick Reid.
Nick Reid, he'll get his chance.
He's been there, I reckon, for an hour and a half. He's not barely been on.
He's found the hot water bucket.
Yeah. Why would you leave?
It'll be Wilcox sending this one deep on the outer side. Goes through the hands of Williams. Gorda there, claimed by Curnow. Loose footy. Dobson snaps it round the corner. Watson v Simpson. The latter going to be paid the mark on this occasion. A good take from the big fella.
Last goal of the game, Bailey Williams at the 10-minute mark of the second quarter.
Little short kick, dangerous stuff in these conditions. West Coast a chance to pounce. Williams at ground level. Has Duggan on the outside. Little tap forward looking for Fisher. They're unable to work it out, and I'll see it over the boundary. Was that the soccer goal? Is that what you're saying? Or the Vardy snap round the corner?
No, Bailey Williams kicked the last goal, didn't he? Yeah, the soccer goal, the goal of the day, 10-minute mark.
Gee, that seems like a week ago now. Wellingham provides the tackle for the Royals on that occasion, and Archie nowhere to go. Wellingham looks to receive some kind of cork in that contest. The Royals wouldn't want that. Not restricting enough to stop him on this clearance, but the left foot snap round the body didn't bring it back enough.
Who's going to get the ball? Through the gate.
Handy location in the game on that.
Perfect spot fish. Nice work.
A carpenter by trade is Andrew Fisher. Played the majority of games for the West Coast in the 2019 Waffle season. Been a fabulous addition to this side.
If you just tuned in, a goal to Nick Reid at the 14-minute mark of the first quarter, one to Nathan Vardy at the 4-minute mark of the second quarter. Bailey Williams kicked one at the 10-minute mark of the second quarter and has been behinds ever since. In fact, in this game, East Perth have kicked one behind, Sharon Wellingham in this quarter, and the West Coast Eagles kicked the last 3 behinds of the game.
Wellingham receiving a free kick. Semelko dreaming. Thought he was going to get a loose touch in the back half. Sharrod, no interest in coming in board. Jesus, he pinged something on the kick there. That looked interesting. The cameraman stayed with it. We'll get back to that one.
Yeah, he's done. Yeah, he's in a bad way.
Footy up for grabs. Duggan attempting to bring a Jang down, and didn't he just? That was Goldberg style in the air from Liam Duggan. Out of his weight division. But have a look here. He's slipped with his left planting boot, and that's caused a bit of trouble there from the ex-Eagle.
Just starting to walk it off now.
East Perth. Drive into attack, ball over the back. Ainsworth, clever little tap. Finding Petrie, little squib kick out. Mutimer, Duggan. Sends it deep down the line. Goes through the hands of Anderson. West Coast have some runners. O'Neill. Tough handball back inside looking for Rebillard, but East Perth have the numbers around that contest and they give it straight back.
How about switching it?
This is the best chance. Here we go. Haven't seen one of these in a while.
At all.
The umpire's playing 50 metres. And are they playing advantage? No, they're not. And the one switch we saw for the corner, they're going to take it off the board.
Seriously?
Good recognition from Marston. He saw Brayshaw on the broadcast.
Master, you know what's going on.
He's not going to have the distance from here. Chris knows it. Sends it to a dangerous area. Top of the square, going back. Allen almost takes it. A chance. West Coast. O'Neill's got some space. Little back feed to Reid. Ainsworth. Dummies one. Wrong side for the left footer. Reid just gets put to ball in the end, really. Wright attempts the one-hand pick out. Have you seen the conditions? He's swung around. Blee. Good defensive pressure from both sides here, and Nick Reid, the final tackle in this play, and the siren brings an end finally to the third quarter.
Of course it did. We're just on a tick under 25 minutes, and it wasn't a great quarter of football. In fact, in that quarter, we had a total of 4 points. 1 to Wellingham and single points to Vardy, Mutimer and Ainsworth. 3-9-27 to 1 point East Perth and West Coast. Hungry Jacks and Diploma Plumbing bringing you the action.
Thrilling action, Tim.
Yeah, it's look, it's tough stuff for everyone involved, the loyal fans, the condition of the ground, and Dana Hooker. Eventually we'll get to an interview. I think we're going to be chatting with Gavin Bell down at ground level. We won't be rushing for that. We'll take a break. We'll get our collective breath as the coaching staff for the respective teams speak to the West Coast Eagles, who hold a very handy 26-point lead on Friday night football. coaching staff speaking to the West Coast Eagles, who hold a handy buffer at the final change by 26 points. It's a tough night. Liam Duggan, good to see him back out there as Mark Rikoski speaks to the defensive group. I'll go through the stats here for Hungry Jacks and for Diploma Plumbing. For all your plumbing needs, go to diplomaplumbing.com.au. West Coast Eagles stats in disposals, and look, conditions are terrible. The rain has abated for now. We'll head down shortly to Dana Hooker, but there is still lots of puddles on the ground. 16 to Archie, 16 to Marston, 16 to Moodamba, 15 to Brayshaw and Fisher, 13 to Duggan, 12 to Allen and Gray, 12 to Rebellion. Bailey Williams has had 12 with a goal. Ainsworth's had 11. Xavier O'Neill, I thought, showed some good signs in that quarter. He looked like a bloke who was adapting to the conditions the best. 11 to Vardy, also 10 to Brooksby. I thought he's been significant in this game. Taken 4 marks, laid 3 tackles and had 16 hit-outs. Reed's kicked a goal, he's had 10 disposals. Tommy Coldown back with 6. The big fella, Drew Petrie, in the brand new jumper and shorts, has had 6 disposals, 4 marks. Francis Watson's had 6. Paddy Bynes has had 5 and kicked one of the best points you'll ever see. Mitchell Curno's had 5. Jared Cameron just the 4 disposals, 4 tackles, and Harry Edwards has had 3 disposals. We'll pay our dues to East Perth. Jackson Ramsey, leading stat getter on the ground, 24. Stanley Wright's had a cut head and 19. 18 to Bleak, kicking the ball out of full back. 18 to Angus Scott. Christian Amaduri, 14. Kai Wilcox has also had 14. As I take a look at the match stats, significant match stats, possession, East Perth 52% of possession, West Coast just 48. The kicks are almost equal, 156 East Perth, 157 West Coast. Handballs, overuse of the handball, I would say umpire, 95 to East Perth, 71 to West Coast. 30 marks on a very tough night for marking the footy, 30 to West Coast, 27 East Perth. Tackles, 79 East Perth, 63 West Coast. Hit out certainly to the Eagles' favour, 45 to 17. Inside 50s, no surprise, 42-19. And the ball has been rebounded 38 times to 19 East Perth way. In that quarter, we didn't have a goal kicked. If you just tuned in, Sydney completely dominated the Demons, and some concern down there. Dana Hooker will be chatting with Gavin Bell, who seems to be delivering all the messages at 3/4 time and at quarter time. So, again, a bit of a role change for the coaching staff down there. Not too sure whether Dana has got him. Yes. Interview is coming. Dana Hooker. We might go down to Dana. Give us a vibe down at 3/4 time, the mood in the camp. Dana, you're with Gavin Bell.
Thanks, guys. Yeah, with Gavin down here. Gavin, tell us a little bit about the game. It's incredibly tough conditions, but the boys have been holding up well. Who's been the sort of star standouts for you?
Oh, look, we've been just wrapped with the entire effort of the boys. They've really worked hard and strongly in the contest. They've been tough and brave. But in saying that, we're only 4 goals up, so we need to make sure that we continue to do what we've been doing, being tough and being predictable with the footy.
Do you think you'll try and use the ball any differently? I know the conditions haven't changed and it's just as wet out there, but in this 4th quarter, roll the dice and try and switch it a bit wider in this quarter?
Oh, look, we're encouraging our blokes just to play and just to take what's in front of them. So if there's an opportunity, yeah, go for it. But, let's remain predictable as best we can.
Anything in particular for the 4th quarter? They've just started underway now, but anything for them that was a strong focus?
Oh, we just want to play 4 quarters of footy. So that's part of our development program, that we want to make sure we can run out games and be strong for 4 quarters.
Well, thanks very much for your insights, and get back upstairs. Thank you, Gavin.
Good on you there. He's off and gone. Gavin Bell, he wasn't waiting around for any pleasantries. Good on you, Dana. West Coast up by 26 points for Hungry Jacks and Diploma Plumbing.
A chance for East Perth, their first forward 50 entry of the term. Petrie sets himself with Fisher. Ball at ground level. Ainsworth handles it cleanly. Here's the voice of Edwards. Kick smothered into the waiting hands of Dobson. He sends it back inside. Dangerous area. Drew Petrie read it best, but goes off his fingertips. A chance here. First goal of the game for the Royals, and Scott converts.
Came about from a drop mark in tough conditions by the big Drew Petrie, and it's spilled out, but that's clever, and that's not what Gavin Bell and also, of course, Luke Webster and the like would want to be seeing. This is good by Dobson. The ball was touched off the boot. Get it in long. Is Petrie trying to read it? No, he didn't quite get it. And good hands, and that's a good snap, and that's a great start from East Perth. And as Gavin Bell said, a 4-goal game is now a 3-goal game, and the conditions have dried up. As much as there's still puddles on the ground, there is no falling rain. And let me tell you, East Perth are certainly up and about in this last quarter. Inside 50s certainly dominated for West Coast, but East Perth will take that every day of the week. Inside one forward 50 in this quarter, they're connected with a goal. They're first for the game.
East Perth strike, their first major of the game. Took 3 and a bit quarters to do so. Can West Coast respond?
That might sting West Coast.
In quick fashion. Bailey Williams does well. Bends over to pick it up. Wilcox, the same. Cameron's tackle a little high on this occasion. Umpire blindsided, and we'll take that every day of the week. There's one of your Cameron tackles.
Yeah, that's definitely a Cameron tackle, and it certainly was high too. Don't worry about that. Yep, the right arm. Unlucky, the umpire was caught on the wrong side.
Ball up. Brooksby searching for Reed. Can't take it. Brayshaw and Ramsey do battle. Loose footy. Bouncing all the way back to West Coast goal face. A chance. Can it be taken? O'Neill does well to keep it in for a split second. The boundary line winning out.
He's been good, O'Neill. I reckon in these conditions, I've just got a feeling he seems to have really got the rhythm of the game. He does, picks the ball up. I know it's horrible conditions, but he seems to have adapted to how hard it is. So I've liked his game.
Well said there, the 19-year-old. A couple of games back from a hip injury. Good to see him out there. Ainsworth providing good tackle along with Marston. They lock the ball up inside their forward 50.
A lot of people ask me, what is Xavier O'Neill? You know, is he going to cut it? He's 19 and had some injuries to deal with this year. Time. It takes time.
Pick 28, of course, in last year's draft for West Coast. Their top pick in that draft, averaging just the 12 disposals of the year, but that'll certainly be climbing over the seasons as he gets more developed and accustomed to this level of football.
He's playing men's footy, isn't he? I mean, it does take time to adjust, but he was good tonight. I really reckon he's sort of stepped up.
Be interesting to see how many minutes Duggan gets in this fourth quarter. First game back, obviously. You don't want to burn him right out. Brooksby uncontested to Marston. Round the corner. Dangerous area. Back with the flight, Wilcox, and takes it cleanly for the Royals.
85% game time. Did I hear that mentioned yesterday with Duggan?
Rings a bit of a bell, yeah. Wouldn't want to be going over that. Give you the hot tip. Wilcox, gee, does well. Almost dry footy there. Kerr fumbles a little bit, but has Gorder on the back feed. Returns the favour for Kerr. Sends it down the line. Miller can't handle it. A chance for Watson. Handball over the top. Cole sends it to half forward, but it's all East Perth, and Dobson has a runner in board. They've got nothing to go to after this. Petrie's got to give chase just out of screen. Wellingham has Scott in support, the recent goal kicker. Short pass, didn't do Houghton any favours. Petrie, good tackle. Ball spills out in the 50. Oh, Wellingham finds himself alone, had more time. Sharrod Wellingham, West Coast will take it. Watson fumbles, has to get back on it. Good work there from Francis. And West Coast, are they happy to see it over? Eventually, goal umpire and boundary umpire confer.
Yeah, and they just got him a couple of times on the out then. That was nice work by East Perth. Good disposal. Well done by Petrie to put a bit of pressure on the Royals forward line. So, and as you mentioned, probably Wellingham had a bit more time than he realised having that shot.
Watson, long ball out of the defensive 50. East Perth do have numbers. Marston, high tackle. That's a stiff one. And Marston agrees with Thumper in the box on that occasion. I think he ducked his head on this occasion. A little bit of a duck. I know he's picking it up, but I saw it. In the end, it's going to be East Perth driving it inside forward 50 to the pocket. Houghton front position, and he's taken it on the second grab. East Perth coming in this final quarter.
They are. Now we've got a bit of a thriller if Big Joel Houghton can put through the goal.
The 27-year-old stints with Colley and Hall's Head of recent, former Docker listed, of course.
Played for Perth too.
And Swan Districts. Done the rounds a bit, finds himself at the Royals and finds himself with a massive shot on goal in the context of this game. Tough angle with a wet footy, gives it a ride, going to go to the top of the square, and West Coast happy to fist that one through for a behind.
And didn't quite connect. So now East Perth has sort of set up, they've got 3 or 4, maybe 5 players now, so every West Coast Eagles player is almost inside the back 50 here. So Francis Watson's got to think his way through this and do the jetta, get out of the square.
Does so, goes long, looking for some tall timber in the end. Rebillard at ground level. On the left boot, goes down the line. Dobson there, been busy. Handball to Anderson, had to get rid of it quickly. Bynes provides good pressure to see the ball over the line. In fact, it's come off his shoelace. And Dobson will...
He's been good this quarter, Dobbo, the big fella. Don't forget.
Geez, solid. He's solid frame for these conditions. Is exactly what you want. I was never great in the wet, Tim. I know it's hard to believe.
You used to wear 3 jumpers.
A chance for Masando. The kick was dangerous. It might repel and cost East Perth here. Marston.
Good.
Short kick has to reach Kerno. Big footy to be won. Shane Hilly. Marston gets back onto it. And in the end, West Coast, they're going to win a free kick. They say that Hilly has jived on that ball and Masto did well. Earns himself the kick. Watson.
Although Kerno dropped the mark, or it didn't quite reach him from the Marston kick, Marston has had some good moments in this last quarter, an old head prevailing into the breeze.
Goes through the hands of Vardy. Right. Sends it forward for East Perth. Watson and Kerno got to work it out. Wellingham goes to ground. No whistle given. In the end, King happy to see it over for East Perth. They were outnumbered. East Perth will take that as a victory.
If East Perth get a goal by the 10-minute mark of this quarter, I will declare game on.
This is the chance. It's in their fourth half at this stage. Throw in. Vardy against Simpson. Have a look at the puddle. What a turn there from Ramsey. That was classy stuff. The kick not so. Mutimer sends it back to the broadcast wing. In the end, East Perth happy to send that one over the boundary line. Gee, Ramsey's clean, isn't he?
He's very good, and you know, he's played AFL footy. He's in good shape. Gets a lot of it. He's battled manfully. He's the leading stat getter on the ground, and you could do worse than have him on your list, I reckon, if he was fit and got through a good pre-season.
Only state player this year for the Royals, I believe. Vardy takes it cleanly. The handball inside missed his target. Off the deck goes Kerr. A Jang v Petrie in the square. Umpire's found a free kick. It's going the way of the dish. Gee, I got a bit nervous when the umpire blew his whistle there, Tim. I didn't know which way it was going.
The pull down of the arm.
You'd have to think Big Drew Petrie coming to the broadcast side where numbers are plenty. Archie, is he going to go for a little dangle? Doesn't. Get front position and takes the chest mark.
And Sharrow was waiting for the ball and he just slipped around him. That's a very good mark. Smart thinking by Archie.
Goes down the line, front position. Oh, Vardy almost could have gobbled it up, and in the end, Gray happy to fist that one over the line. Playing percentages, Brady Gray.
Correct.
Of course, he had a return from his 2-game absence last week. 17 disposals and a goal, Brady. Good to see him back. 21 games with the Freo Dockers over 4 seasons, and happy to have him on our side of the fence. Throw in. Simpson takes full possession. Bangs the kick. Long ball inside 50. Edwards got turned in the marking contest. Watson just goes bang off the deck. Gets it out of trouble. Might come back. Good pick up there from Cahill, but Brooksby takes advantage. Here go West Coast. Oh, have a look at the slip and slide here on the wing. The ball could be lost in there for a minute. Ainsworth goes through the hands of Marston, but Braden has to butter up here. Wilcox sends it forward, but there's no one inside. Oh, the ball just stopped on its absolute tracks in that water puddle. Cole's gone over the top of Mackenzie. Crowd one high, don't get it. Kerr long, and it's all Petrie sitting underneath that one.
Now it's rolling in the mud to make his up at 10. Look at that, it's deliberately rolled in the mud.
I know we've got encapsulated in a box here, Tim, but the crowd were extremely flat. That free kick wasn't given.
Yeah, it's holding the ball every day of the week.
Kicks it down the line, out of play. I think they wanted a high hit on Mackenzie, and for those that have stuck around for this contest, they're hoping to see a fast finish for the Royals. Can West Coast hang on and get a much-needed win for their late finals push?
Well, they go inside the top 5 with a win tonight on percentage, and if they can keep East Perth to 9 points, it's going to be a healthy percentage rise.
Dobson ducks the tackle, gives to Ramsey. He sends the ball inside 50. Petrie from behind just gets his spoil down. Rudrum off the deck. Can Kerno get there? Luckily, the ball travels the wrong side of the goalpost. They are a bit of Pepperidge Farm here. They are sending a few goal way.
They are. They're starting to live inside their forward 50 now. So West Coast's got a bit of work to do. That breeze, I reckon, has picked up. It's certainly going to the left of screen.
Duggan goes for a trot. Drives it long. All at ground level. O'Neill, Ainsworth. Little tap. Looking for Rebillard on this occasion. Ainsworth has to provide the defensive pressure against Scott, and he's able to trap it for a ball up.
Not like tonight where, you know, tackles, it's tough. You've got to put your head over the footy, but all the stats get blown out of the water and what's a tackle and what's not a tackle. Well, I think Cameron's had more tackles than the 3 that's been listed. So, but I'm sure the coaching staff will look back at the tape and make their own assessment on performances. Chris Marston's had 20 disposals, slow start to the game. Archie's had 18 and 7 tackles, had a good game.
Throw in. Brooksby in the ruck on this occasion. Follows up. Good clearance there from the big fella. Going back with the flight. Binds. Mark claimed in the end. Going the way of Tom Gorder. East Perth with a rare switch of play.
Nice.
Refreshing to see. Wilcox to Kerr. Getting some wet socks on that occasion, but he takes the mark.
Rebellion and Reed, 9 tackles apiece. Archie and Cameron, 7. And now they've got the program's got 7 tackles, and Drew Petrie's had 5.
They've retreated in distance marginally, but they're moving the footy a little bit side to side. Here's the corridor kick. They pull the trigger. Amajuri to a running Kerr. Sends to centre half forward. Well read from Petrie. Gets a hand on it. Running through Houghton. Tries to go off the deck. Misses. Kerno. Good handball. Marston shares with Duggan. Goes back to the preferred left. Sends it long down the wing, but East Perth have numbers. Going to be a free kick and a Shepherd. West Coast are going to get the ball. Nick Reed, recipient on this occasion, so the crowd don't like it.
50, if not careful, East Perth going off his fifth.
Amajuri having a few quiet words. Have a look at this one. Just didn't have eyes for no one. Not against Amajuri, going against St Malcolm on that occasion.
That's right. So Amajuri's probably thinking, what do I do?
Reed goes long. Anderson front position, but can't grab the mark. West Coast will be content to lock this one in.
This breeze has picked up good 20 kilometres, I reckon. East Perth kicking with a 4-goal breeze, but because it's heavy and wet underfoot, they're getting no advantage. This is hard work, and West Coast are battling manfully into this breeze.
The Jang quality hit out, looking for the boundary or Ramsey. The ladder overrunning it. Brady Gray takes it over. I find it interesting that all week you're training a certain way, you're moving the ball, getting your skills up and running, and then you get to a day like this, Tim, and 80% of it just means absolutely nothing, and it's all about structure and will in the contest. Classic game football. Allen, good clearance. Front position is Bynes, sliding in, can't lock it up. Ball squirts out. Brayshaw finds Ainsworth. Snap to the pocket. Rebillard, clever tap, finds Williams. Tough angle. Can he get the bounce? Cameron, he's leading in the foot race. Got a couple alongside him. Marston, here's the voice. Finds Fisher. What can he do with it? When he picks it up, sends it to the top of the square. Good fist there from East Perth. They're keeping it out only just. Brayshaw's handball's intercepted, and East Perth get out of jail on that occasion. The wide kick. Couple of Waffle Eagles in Fisher and Kerno, first to it. But in the end, they turn it over. Sloppy play from both sides here in the clutch. Bynes tries to shirk the tackle, and he just gets away. Kerno, Mutimer off the deck. Boundary line a win. Gorder wants to go back inboard to Blee. Feigns a couple, moves past one. Brilliant work there from the experienced East Perth player. And in the end, it's going to be Hilly. He's hit Simpson on a lead. That has been rare in today's game. The big fella, short option, quality spoil, and Harry Edwards read it to perfection.
Yeah, nice work, Harry Edwards. Hasn't had a lot to do, but that's a nice work in tough conditions. Had to get it because East Perth looked like they were out. I will commend Chris Marston. I think Chris Marston's, since quarter time, has been a significant player. When everyone else seems to be running up and down the one spot, his work rate's been second to none.
Throw in. A little bit off target, doesn't matter. That ball's out on the full, and I believe Gorter or Scott are going to take it for the Royals. It's going to be the latter, the goal kicker of the quarter. The only goal scored in this final stanza. It's going to be Angus Scott from the Casey Demons. Sends it to the flank. Vardy happy to spoil. Allen takes it as clean as you like. Ainsworth, not much room to operate. Luckily stepped out of bounds because the turnover will come back. See another throw in.
So we've got East Fremantle next Sunday.
And Perth have Peel down at Rushton, which will be our big game.
Yeah, so we got East Fremantle at home.
Yes, it's moved back at Mineral Resources. Kerr, the clearance, big ball to be won here in the pocket. Good spoil there from the Eagles. East Perth desperate to pinch another one here. Time certainly not on their side. Fisher Little scrub kick. Wellingham claims the mark, but not the required 15. Dobson has someone inboard. It's Wright. The Royals, a chance. Can Wright load up from 50? A big goal attempt for the Royals, but accuracy very difficult in these circumstances.
Has that person got a dog behind the goal? Is that a dog on a chain behind the goal? Let's pull back. Let's keep pulling back if we can. Let's put that guy there. To the left.
No, missed it.
There it is.
Oh, quality.
Fido's out on Friday night. He's got the raincoat on.
Who needs to bath your dog when you bring it to Leadville Oval on a Friday night? Oh, what a mark there. I think that's Nathan Vardy drifting back. I've liked his game tonight, Nathan.
Yeah, I do too. All the big men I think have had an impact. And Brooksby, Williams and also Vardy. That breeze is holding that ball up. This is tough going now. That breeze has really picked up.
Cahill. Handball, a little too strong for Mackenzie. A chance for Cole. Just finds his feet.
They're out.
Here we go. Cameron, if it sits. Kerr goes to the ground, so he lost his opponent. Could take advantage.
Jared.
Cahill fumbles at the critical moment. Here's a chance. A little bit of ping pong. And no players can take advantage, but at the moment, East Perth have the footy.
Tackle.
Mackenzie can't decide which way he's going. So just puts it at the feet of Vardy.
Well done, Vards.
Leaves his opponent in the wake. Spots Brayshaw, too far out to score, you would think, with a waterlogged ball. Has Gray short, ignores him.
He's got, there's 3 kicks to goal from here.
Umpire says play on. Sends one, top of the goal square. Tall timber, Bynes almost reels it in with the one hand. Gray lurking, Bynes drags it back in. East Perth don't want to concede here. It'd be certainly game over. Good work there from Paddy Bynes. Thought he was going to take an absolute screamer.
We haven't kicked a goal since half-time, have we?
Still a 16-point lead in favour of West Coast. Played 18 minutes in the final term.
We've kicked 3 points since half-time.
Semelko uncontested, almost able to get a clearing kick out. Ball still in a dangerous area for the Royals. Reed dragged off it. Masando goes off the deck. Marston, clever little toe poke. Searching for the line. Hilly makes sure he goes over with a strong tackle. Chris Marston, omitted last week, of course, was emergency versus Crows, so he'll be fresh after a week off. 212 games for the West Coast Eagles and a flag. Marvellous career for Chris Marston.
Fantastic.
Here we go. Brady Gray draws his player to the man in question. Check side. Does it have the carry? Bailey Williams couldn't shepherd that one through. He almost had to turn and make the contest. I don't know where Maxto thought he was going to have a 40-metre running banana in the wet.
3-10.
Gave it a crack.
4 points since half-time.
East Perth refusing to go corridor in the latter stages of the game. Don't know why, because Matty Allen very happy to fist this one over the line and out of bounds.
20 disposals to Marston, 18 to Archie, 7 to Mudama. Tackle count, 9 to Rubilliard, Reed, and 7 to Archie and Cameron.
Zhang against Brooksby. Brayshaw, little squib kick out. Matty Allen against Scott in the foot race. In the end, West Coast very happy to play stoppage football as they milk this clock in the final term. Stream, of course, brought to you by Hungry Jacks and Diploma Plumbing. Fantastic to bring you Friday night football.
At its best, it's a thriller.
Ramsey, snap kick. Looking for Houghton. He's dragged to ground. Umpire had no problem with it. Brilliant tackle there from Curnow. He's been hard as nails. He put King to the deck, and the umpire said holding the pill.
Yeah, even though it's wet, and even though it's tough, you still got to get the ball out as quick as possible. And he had time. It was good tackle by Curnow.
Kicks it inside 50. Bynes out on a quality lead. Can't take it. Blee kicking to boundary line. Wants the safety of it. Edwards goes to ground, and Archie happy to see it over.
Do the play? Can I just question for
more about the shorts?
Do the players go back to Mineral Resources for recovery, or they just do their own and then rock up there?
I don't think they go back to Mineral Resources tonight. I don't know if they have clearance at 10 p.m. It'll be pretty late. Dobson wants to keep it in play. Brayshaw. Oh, that's a stiff decision there, but it's going against Brayshaw. Out on the full.
He's back-heeled it over the line. I reckon it is a tough call to take a look at the replay. Have the boundary umpire go. I've got one wrong already tonight. The ball is not.
don't think it got airborne at any start.
I'm not so sure either. Anyway, tough call, but let's live with it.
Watson bangs it on the left boot. Brayshaw has to be strong in the contest. He is. Kick to space. It's Anderson, and look at Cameron coming on the outside. Socky kick forward. Can he get one more little toe poke? What did he can? What a ripper there from Jared Cameron. Fantastic pace on the outside. Did you see him cracking the whip, Tim?
Now, I don't know. There's no review of the goal. It's just goal. There's no review, so she's just got to make the call, surely. It is a Diploma Cameron goal of the night. She's just got to make her call here. How does she make the call? They're calling in the boundary umpires. We take a look at the replay. They're still conversing. There is no goal review. She's paid the goal. Here it is here. And, yep, spot on. So she got it right. Well done.
Put Chloe Wright well under the pump in her first game as goal umpire.
Absolutely. And Jared Cameron, that is a Diploma Plumbing goal of the night contender. So Chloe comes out, speaks to the goal umpire. Now, this is where the confusion reigns supreme.
Cahill claiming a touch.
Well, there's no review. There's no video review.
Do they want to come up here and have a look? We got the screen.
We've got the screen, and the best part was you got it right, Chloe, so well done to you. Fantastic. And well done to Jared Cameron. Work rate's been exceptional tonight. Hasn't had a big night on the stat sheet, but he'll take that goal, and that was just sheer pace, and that locks away this game. It's not going to be a long quarter, so 34-11. First goal for the West Coast Eagles since the 10-minute mark of the second quarter.
Blee and Cahill had about 20 metres on Cameron, and he was absolutely flying on the outside to get to that contest. Great persistence from the youngster.
Yeah, absolutely. And he was pretty happy with himself too. So, yeah, good goal. And it's going to be a good win. 23 points. It's a handy margin on a tough night for footy.
West Coast with percentage going to be a factor to try and sneak into this top 5. Don't want to stop just right now, even though this contest looks out of reach for the Royals. Simpson does battle with Brooksby in the ruck. Ball in dispute. Brayshaw strong yet again. Good clearing kick to centre half forward. Brady Gray. Can they get another one off the deck? Brady Gray bends over. Has Reid on the inside, and Nick Reid lets him know about it, but Nick Reid doesn't get fed on this occasion.
Yeah, not so sure Brady could have. That would have been something special in these conditions. Bend over, pick it up, and a hand pass at pace. So tough going. This breeze, dead set, it's now, I reckon this breeze is now an 8-goal win.
Just received a text saying this could be the lowest score in Royals history if they get less than 6. So you got that stat for me, Tim?
6 what?
What, goals? So is 36 the lowest score in Royals history?
Yeah, lower than that. They played Subi a few times.
Fair point. That text was from a while ago. Maybe I'm a bit late on that one.
I think you were very late on that one.
Duggan, back feed to Fisher. He pumps it long down the line. Has Archie run out of room? He has. Now, how do the Royals play this? The windsock doing plenty. Maybe a fair bit of water in that one, I'd assume.
No, East Perth would have had a much lower score than this time.
Blee.
Good text, though.
Oh, Fisher, he's done it all night. That's an absolute ripper opposed to Sharrod Wellingham. Absolutely loved his repelling game. Just reading the intercept so efficiently in these conditions. Very difficult to do.
They kicked 9 points in a game, I remember. 0-9.
What is that text I've got?
0-9 against West Perth at Arena in 2003.
He's already texted a retraction. He's hot on it. I won't stitch him up with a name.
No.
Ramsey has it.
He's been good, Ramsey, in a losing team.
Little feed. Oh, Watson. Deft little foot trap in the end. Hard stuff there from Duggan. He makes sure Mackenzie is not going anywhere.
I've liked Marston's game a lot in this game, and I've liked the work of a lot of the big men. Vardy's been good. I've liked O'Neill's game as well. And I'm ignoring the stats because it's not really a night for stats, but Archie's work rate's been good as well. So a lot to like, and really hard to look down and go, oh, who played well? It's not a night to play well, it's a night to play tough.
Dobson, high ball. Will it stay in the field? No, it will not. Very keen eye to watch how the Perth Demons go this weekend against East Fremantle, Tim.
Yeah, East Fremantle have improved, haven't they? Quite considerably.
Can you believe their Colts team, probably one of the best in the competition?
Who would have thought a premiership player would have to go up 20 metres and get his own ball on a Friday night when it's pouring with rain?
No, there's not much of a crowd on the outer side, as you can expect.
Get your own ball.
Duggan.
Yeah, what's their Colts team? Who?
Kicks to a contest.
Perth.
Just moving through traffic beautifully, but was stifled at the last second. Cahill puts his teammate Simpson under the pump. West Coast win it back, send the ball to the flank, but in the end, Sando with the intercept. Now here, East Fremantle are one of the best teams in the Colts competition at the moment. They're on fire. Won't make finals. Left their run too late.
That happens because you lose players through the 18 system, the 16s, and the PSA comp. At the back end of the season can be a little bit lopsided at times.
Kerno searching for Duggan on the back feed. Great to see this fella back in the footy. The footy world. That kick will work though.
Yeah, it does.
Don't know if it was meant to happen, but here comes Marston streaming through the middle of Leederville.
He's been good.
Has Gray on the outside, but the siren's going to win out. A comprehensive, you'd have to say, 24-point victory.
Wasn't ever.
Comprehensive in the scheme of the conditions, I would think.
Goals to Cameron, Reid, Vardy and Williamson. The only goal came in the last quarter for East Perth, and that was through Scott in the early stages of the last quarter. 4-11 to 1-5, thanks to Henry Jacks and Diploma Plumbing. Some overall stats: 198 kicks to East Perth, 206 to the West Coast Eagles, 114 handballs East Perth, 99 to the Eagles, 39 marks Royals, 35 West Coast, tackle count 94 East Perth and 80 to the Eagles. Hit out certainly West Coast way, 58-24. Inside 50s dominant, 51-29 and 45-28 rebound 50s. Let's go down to Dana Hooker. We've learned so much from Dana tonight, and she's with one of the stars of the night for the West Coast Eagles, and I'm talking about Kane Mutimer.
Not with Kurt just yet. He's coming back over in just a second. He's going out to catch up with a couple of the other players, and then he's going to join us in just a minute.
How did you think he went, and how do you, from ground level, who did you think started? I thought Mutimer was good, but at the same time, just give me a couple of other players who stepped up for you, Dana.
Oh, look, I thought Andrew Fisher down back was really solid today, along with Drew Petrie. They both were chopping off things when it did come down into the back line. Even though you were giving old Drury a ride for his shorts, he was laying a lot of tackles down there, so he was a bit unlucky on some of the calls you had, but I thought some of those fellow backmen down there, they did a great job today. I think they all competed really hard, so it's actually hard to pick someone to interview actually, but Kurt was on the boundary line at the time, and I had a chat to him, and I said, I thought you had a good game, and he was keen to come and have a chat with us, so we'll give him a minute, and he will come over and join us shortly.
Enjoy the return of serve there from Dana.
Oh, good on you, mate. Anyway, Dana's done a fairly good job tonight. She hasn't moved far from her base, though.
Do you blame me?
No, I do not blame you. You're very good. The Gowns was strong. Gowns was strong from East Perth's Gown situation. The warm water was strong. He gave us a good spread on the players, not all being 50 metres around the ball. I like that. You got us back onto the rails after we sort of got a little bit sidetracked. Nice work by you, Dana Hooker. Dana's one of the toughest. Have you ever played, and I'm being serious, have you ever played in weather like this?
I have. This brought me back to a couple of years ago, between season 1 and 2 of AFLW, played here at this ground against East Fremantle in the same conditions. It was horrendous. I think the score level was fairly similar, very low scoring. And to get a goal to win it was hard work in the fourth quarter, but it's not pleasant playing in those conditions, but I actually think it's worse sitting on the boundary line when you're not moving.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know those sickos that say, oh, I love these conditions, oh, I love playing in the slop. Oh, what are they made of?
I know, they're not made of much anyway. Where are you, Dana? Have you got the talent yet?
Oh, we've got Kurt. He's just coming over now.
All right.
Sauntering over, isn't he?
Yeah, don't rush, Curdy. You're right, mate.
Kurt, thanks for joining us over here. What did you make of the game? Really tough conditions.
Yeah, tough conditions the first half. Obviously, it was really windy and it was pretty wet, so it was a bit of a slog, but second half, boys managed to pull it together a little bit and come away with a win.
Yeah, fantastic job out there. Who did you think, as being on the ground, we couldn't pick a best on ground, but who did you think for your fellow teammates stood up today and played really well?
Yeah, Brandon Archie obviously used his size to his advantage and, really took those boys on inside the contest, so I think he was pretty good.
He was pretty good, wasn't he? Was the messaging throughout the game fairly consistent, given the conditions were obviously well and truly made up for it, but was the messaging consistent throughout the game?
Yeah, messaging was good. Obviously, we've come a long way in terms of the messaging throughout the year and getting the younger boys to sort of speak up a little bit. And, we've come a long way, and I think today sort of tested us a little bit, but, I think we did pretty well.
Yeah, most certainly did in these tough conditions. And next week you've got East Fremantle, and a win there, well, hopefully gets you a position in the top 5 and a finals berth. Have you thought about that yet?
Yeah, we'll celebrate the win tonight and focus on next week. But it's a big game for us. If we win next week, it gives us a chance to make finals. So come Monday, we'll be focusing on East Fremantle.
Thanks very much for your time, Kurt. Go enjoy the win and go get warm.
Thank you. Cheers.
Thanks very much, Goss.
Oh, nice work by you, Dana Hooker. You've been very good tonight. The city of Perth, we couldn't see it when we started because it was howling weather and also rain, but great job by Dana Hooker. Thanks to Steve Bandy. Nice work by you, Thump.
Thank you, Goss. Good to have you back in the commentary box.
Good to be back. And well done to the team in the truck and at ground level and everyone involved, because it's a tough old night for footy, as we can see. But in the end, it was the West Coast Eagles who got the job done. The final score, 4-11-35 to 1-5-11. Thanks for joining us. Thanks to Hungry Jacks and Diploma Plumbing.